Have another beer, buddy.
Chatty chat chat chat. I think that they probably said that being shorter is advantageous.
Well, they need to teach me then. There you go. So we had to poke a little fun at him. Call you Ginger Swag.
Yeah. If you weren't bowlers, what would you have liked to have done instead? Anything else. Literally anything else.
That's a great answer.
The horse is so dead that it's on some kid's school project on a landfill already.
And there you have
it.
No. We'll talk in the day.
Terrible idea.
What up?
What's up?
Happy New Year, everybody.
Yeah, is this thing actually working?
It's
I
working.
have to ask every single time I turn it on now.
It's working, at least on my end anyway.
Because no. So, welcome to 2025, everybody. I got plenty of sleep last night. I don't know about you.
I did not.
I was still up at midnight, but
I went to bed about 1 o'clock, so not terrible.
Not due to choice. Like it was nothing that we intended on doing. We were just still up. So
yeah.
Angel had a spreadsheet crash for all of our bowling stuff for the last several years, and so she's been rebuilding it over the last couple days and digging through files and all kinds of obnoxious stuff, trying to get that back up. We got some new stuff here. We traded monitors out because she's got a better little office set up in the office now, and so she got me a new monitor for Christmas.
Sweet.
So she took one of my old monitors, but it was too big to fit in the little corner she had on that corner desk, on the new corner desk she put in. And so she came down here and took this old monitor, which was like 20 inches upstairs. And so now we have like a 27 down here. So that needed 9 caps and counting. So
I stayed up till about 1 a.m. I'm a little tired and still got up about 8. So we did our college drinking thing last night. So
yeah.
But
did you play Black Ops 6 or did you play Modern Warfare, or what'd you actually play?
The new one, called Black Ops 6. Okay. Yeah, it wasn't too bad. But
Black
I'm drinking this stuff, by the way. It's called beer. I got it for Christmas. Beer barrel bourbon, and it literally you could taste the bourbon up front, and the aftertaste tastes like a beer. It's really good. I'll save you some.
Okay, yeah.
I need to be day drinking at noon on my day off. Absolutely.
Yep, I do have some Shiner Cheers left for you for the
Monday.
For Monday, the 100th show, which is still on. I haven't decided whether I'm going to do a new intro for that yet or not, because I kind of like the one that we have. But I've seen some other intros from other different, not necessarily bowling channels, but intros to their episodes or different shows or stuff. And so I got a few ideas I might play around with. But
cool, yeah.
I'm a little busy.
No, I get it.
With stuff I can't talk about at the moment. So
nope. It's all good. I understand. Completely understand. Well, right after we have our show, of course, the Brunswick thing kind of just goes kaput.
Yeah. It was like literally the next day or the day after or whatever. And so it's like, oh, okay. So I guess we'll just talk about it. And I was expecting a truckload of comments saying, oh, well, this isn't happening now. This is just to let you guys know this isn't happening now. I was like, well, yeah, we just, we didn't know that when we did the show. So.
Well, yeah. Well, when we were live, it was all good. I mean, we even had Brunswick in here.
Yep, he was in here helping things out. I suppose I had to turn the chat box on. Happy New Year! For the record, I dislike Excel. Yeah,
I don't care for Excel either.
Yeah, it just she had a whole spreadsheet, and she's like on top of this is like a professional spreadsheet that's got all kinds of stuff, and
yeah.
I mean, she keeps track of every ball in or out, who they went to, serial numbers, right down to frickin' everything. And Excel just decided, oh yeah, I'm just not going to open now.
What's up with the sound? Sounds good here. You guys.
Yep, sounds all good as far as I can tell.
Is it my end? Is it?
No, you sound great, and
Oh,
I'm assuming I sound great. But
there's 2 people now saying what's up with the sound.
do we need to up the sound, perhaps?
Yeah, help us out.
Yeah,
Right.
I can adjust the sound. I just need to know what to do with it.
Sound is going in and out.
Oh, well, that shouldn't be anything that has anything to do with us.
Yeah, that's internet problems.
Yeah, that would probably be internet problems, and I have
Yeah, there's another one. Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good to them. You talking, it cuts in and out. Both of us, or just Luke or me? Sounds great here in New York.
Okay, so yeah, I mean I've got gigabit internet, so and it's wired into the computer, so probably something to probably just refresh your stream. Just click the refresh button
Yeah.
or close it and come back into it, and you should be fine.
Yeah, we're getting lots of people saying it sounds good here. So yeah, we keep rolling. I've got some
Okay.
nice natural light coming in over here. I kind of like this. It's always so
Yeah.
dark when we do it at night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is a little different doing this during the day, and I was kind of wondering how many people would be up and non-zombie like it at noon. But leagues are going to be starting back. I don't think Angels bowling tonight. I don't think the Wednesday night women's league is going. But I know that we bowl. We're back to bowling Thursday nights. The scratch league tomorrow night. We're starting a new half off. So kind of excited for that. And which means we ought to be bowling. We're bowling. I think we're bowling you guys next week.
Well,
I think we bowled you the second.
I've got a little bit of news about that. I'm actually shelved for a little bit. I actually injured my finger bowling, so I've got a little. I'm supposed to be in a splint, but I've got like a little splint sleeve on right now because I can't type anything.
Mm-hmm.
I sprained the joint in my right ring finger, so not really sure how I did it or what I did, but I'm definitely in quite a bit of pain. So I am off at least this Thursday, possibly next.
Okay. Well, I know that we start out bowling Tennyson.
Yeah, we bowl Jesse.
And I'm not sure if we're bowling the same people in the same pairs. I don't think that that's how it works, but we definitely bowled the same people in the same order in both halves.
We're on 17 and 18, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. So I think we were on 17 and 18 or 15 and 16 or whatever to start off.
I think you were on 17 and 18, and we were on 15 and 16.
Okay.
That sounds about right, because I was like, oh, we dodged 17 and 18 on that first week. Johnny Clark is subbing for me, so I may be back, I may not. I was supposed to bowl a tournament this weekend. I had to back out of that. It stinks, because I bowled that scratch doubles tournament over the weekend. I bowled pretty good. I mean, it could have been better. It was definitely hurting, but it was a grind fest for me. And I mean, I grinded a good day, but the last game I shot 160 and it hurt. But they got pretty bad though. You scared to bowl, Luke? Yeah, I'm scared to bowl, Luke.
Yeah.
I love it when we bowl each other because it's always really back and forth.
Well, and it's really interesting going from first half to second half because you always start off on new teams and people are it's kind of shaky getting into the first couple weeks of the season. So the first like 4 or 5 weeks, like we don't count current season averages until 15 games. So we get 5 weeks in and we're still using the previous year's averages. So even though it's scratch, we do have positioning based off of what your average is. Like the top 2 averages on the team have to bowl the 3-4 spots. And so even if that gets shaken up the first couple weeks, you still go off of last year's averages. Right. And so the current season don't kick in until for the first 5 weeks because you're on a different team, unless you're Trent Overby or Jay Futrell. You generally pick different teams every year. And so it can be a little tricky if you have new people coming into the league. They're going to be a little bit more nervous most of the time.
Oh yeah,
because the league is kind of a big deal, and you get drafted. You don't want to disappoint who you get drafted by, and so even though once you get used to the league, you understand. Well, it's competitive, but nobody's gonna really throw a fit if you don't do well. It's just kind of like, oh, okay, well, I guess it didn't work out this year, and you move on. So it is a nice blend of competition without like cutthroat nonsense.
I love the league. I mean, it's the perfect blend of really competitive with also still having fun at the same time. So as long as you go in there with a good attitude, 90% of the time you're going to find a team and have a good time with them. So
yeah, but for me,
that's the nice perk, by the way, of being a captain is you can have anybody sub for you.
Mm-hmm.
So That does help.
Yeah, so yeah, Johnny Clark's going to be a good pick for tonight or tomorrow night, I guess. But for me, it's always the first like 5 or 6 weeks are always very different. For whoever you bowl in the first 5 or 6 weeks, probably going to be a different experience in the second half versus if you bowl somebody like the 10th week. Well, by then you're into the season, so you're probably going to get about the same team the first half as you get the second half.
Yeah.
The first half this year, we had a lot of new people and a lot of new people on the teams that my team was bowling against. So we get Tennyson, and he's got 2 or 3 new people on his team. I know that you've got a couple on your team.
2.
And so the teams
3.
that we bowled the first half, I am not necessarily sure are going to be the same teams that we're bowling the second half for the first 5 weeks here. So
actually, my whole team, except for me, is noobs to the league. Because I forget Tobias is new as well, but Ronnie, yeah. I mean, the team is different. I mean, Ronnie's, you can tell his confidence has gone up. Austin's confidence has gone up. And Tobias, I think he's still around 222 or something like that. So honestly, not far off what I drafted him at. So we have improved. I mean, we were in the basement for the first few weeks. You could tell that Austin and Ronnie, there's no knock on them, but my goodness, they were tight. Like, guys, it's just any other league. Just loosen up. And all it takes is 1 week. 1 week that they finally shoot something, and it's just, okay, we're good now. Let's go. So it definitely improved. I think we got up to, after being in the basement, I think we got up to like 10th, something like that. So
yeah,
it's not bad.
You guys definitely settled in well. As far as other teams, I'm not really sure that a lot of the other teams typically either get better or get worse throughout the year. I don't think anybody really changed outside of your team settling in. I can't think of anybody else that I think is like a significantly different team this half versus last half. Everybody kind of did, and you'll have some people that start a little slow and start a little fast, but then eventually they kind of settled in to where you expect them. I think generally averages are a little down this year, but it's just those new pins have still just not broken in. It's not hard to hit the pocket. It's just a whole lot harder to get strikes consecutively this year than last year.
They just plaque 10 so easily. And you're at 7 on your side. It just, you would think that they would have been beaten in a little bit by now, but my God, they're just taking forever.
Yeah, they still act basically like they did when they put them in 5 months ago, because they put them in actually beginning of August, because we still had them the last couple weeks of the summer league, or they put them in when we still had a couple weeks left in summer league, and so we've gotten, and they're just regular wood pins. I mean, there's nothing different about the brand or anything, but my gosh, they just have not broken in at all.
No, and I think that's a big part of why the scores have been down there. Jesse is always thinking, well, something's wrong with the house shot or something's wrong with the lane machine or something. I'm like, dude, it's just carry's percentage here is just not good right now, which is crazy to think. Like, where I really noticed it the most is when my light hits. With the old beaten in pins, I always get those light swishing 7s, and I get them a lot. Now, if I hit light, it's 7-pin all day.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't have a rev rate anyway, but.
So that's my team ended up finishing 4th, and we were in 4th for the last 10 weeks. It was really funny how everything shook out. Normally, there's a little bit more parity throughout the league, but there were 4 teams that were the top 4, and then it was the rest of the league. But there were really 3 teams at the top, my team, and then the rest of the league, because we were like 20 point. We hovered between like 15 to 20 points behind the top 3 teams, but then everybody else was like 15 to 25 points behind us the rest of the season, and it just didn't really, for the last 10 weeks especially, it didn't change.
Yeah,
so it was
that's kind of boring.
Weird. Yeah, it was kind of boring. Now, it would have been, if we did something, if we had, back when we had 14 teams in the league or 16 teams, we would have a couple position rounds at the end of the halves, which I think really made it interesting. This is just kind of, you bowl everybody once each half, and then that's where it is. I do like 18 teams, because that way,
it's basically a round robin match play every week.
Yeah, but I do kind of miss, if it wouldn't break my heart if we went down to 16 teams, just because then we'd have a couple position rounds at the end of each half, which would really mix it up. and make it a little bit more interesting. But I would rather have more people in the league too. So
I enjoy both aspects. Yeah, 16 was fun because, like you said, the position round did it really did shake things up, especially if the first 1 to 4 spots are really tight, and not even that, you can go all the way down to 6th. I mean, we've seen it where it's really, really tight from first to 6th a few times. But yeah, having the 18 teams in there, I do like just the other people because we get to see, a lot of new faces we don't get to see, or old faces we don't expect to see. So it's nice to have all those extra people in the league. I'm a people person, so I like to BS. So seeing more people, the better for me.
Yeah. So anyway, from a league perspective, I am excited to get back into the second half and see. I still think that the pecking order is going to be fairly similar. Now, Tyler Gromlovitz moved to Florida.
He's gone, right?
So he's gone. So I think he was talking to Johnny and Trevor about kind of splitting his captain spot the rest of the year.
I don't think Johnny's going to do it. It was like pulling teeth to get him to sub for me this week.
Well, and see, that's the thing is it's an hour and a half, hour and 15 drive for him each direction to get up there. I know he's busy as hell. He's going to be doing our bathroom remodel, and the earliest. Yeah. We were talking to him about it like a month and a half ago, and the earliest spot he has is in March.
Yeah, I think he's coming back to the league next year, though. He's leaving Gage, so I think he's coming back to the draft. For those that don't know Johnny or we don't really talk about him much, but he's a pretty good bowler. So
yeah, he's great. He goes with us to a couple tournaments a year, and then he used to bowl in both Topeka and in Lawrence, but I can't do both, and I don't blame him because again, it's an hour drive to Topeka. And it's an hour 15 to Lawrence from where he lives at.
Plus his 2 kids.
So. Yeah, 2 kids. He owns his own flooring business, and he's just busy as hell all the time. So
we all wore our Blind Squirrel Finds a Nut jersey that's sponsored by Johnny's Flooring, by the way.
Yeah.
On Sunday, it was Trevor, Dylan, Johnny, and I all in the same pair, and we all wore them. And people are like, "Dude, those are great. Where do I get one of those?" I'm like, "Well, I didn't post it on the website. Unfortunately, you can't." So.
Yep.
Darn.
You gotta be on the team.
I'll have to wear it one of these shows because even in person it's pretty great. I always tell Dylan, it's like, hey, you got big nuts on your shirt.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm hoping I get back that I can bowl with you here in a couple weeks. But I'm telling you, it's pretty tender. I can't even at the joint sides, the top, I can't bend it.
Yeah.
Without being in massive discomfort. So Amanda's pretty much put me on the shelf until it gets better. So hopefully 2 weeks I'm back.
Yeah, and again, I can't remember whether we bowled you guys the second week or the third week. I know it wasn't I was remembering the second week, but I wasn't quite sure. But yeah, it'll be a couple weeks.
Yeah, we bowl you, or we bowl Jesse, then we bowl you, then we bowl Russ.
And that's a rough start to the season because Jesse's got one of the top 3 teams. Him, James, and Tyler, their teams are the best and have been the best the whole season, really. And again, with Tyler leaving, he was wanting to work it to where because you can only take your average for 2 weeks, and then third week and every week after that, you lose 10 pins off your average. So he's at 230 something. He can take 230 for a couple weeks, but then he has to have somebody sub for him. But then it doesn't reset until that person comes back. So it's not like he can just have Johnny sub for him and then go 2 more weeks and then have Trevor sub for him and go 2 more weeks, because he has to come back at some certain point, or he continues however many weeks he has off. He keeps losing
10 pins, right?
Keeps losing sticks, and so
10 every time, right? Or does it increase?
I would think at some certain point it's got a cap, or there's got to be a limit to it.
I would think so.
But
I mean, because you can get in a medical situation where you can't find anybody. I mean, I don't even know who he's going to get. I mean, maybe Trevor and Johnny will do it, but
I have no idea how. But they would have to split, and it'd have to be one of them every other week. And with Johnny having to drive up here, and then Trevor, they just had the baby a month ago, or not even a month ago, just a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
I don't see that working out. It might, but I don't know what his plan was.
I have no idea. No idea. We've actually got a good amount of live follower or watchers here with us on a surprise stream. I know we talked about doing one last week, but
yeah, we thought we probably need to do it, and then we didn't really have a time locked down or whatever, but we're doing Buck.
noon's great. Everybody's hungover, sitting on their couch, relaxing.
Yeah.
We're really tired. Listen to these two idiots talk. So,
Buck.
Sweet.
So,
and this beer barrel bourbon's really good. Sorry.
No, but yeah, for general league stuff, I'm not sure how that's going to work out. But Jesse and James both definitely have a couple of the better teams, and my team is not a team. Now we did somehow work our way into we've got the high 10 right now, the high scratch game of the league on 17 and 18.
Wow.
We went like 8-10, 870, 1040.
I'm like bowing to you right now because that pair is trash.
It's like 11-20 on any other pair. So
good God.
I don't even know how it happened, but we got on a roll. I had the front 10 that game. Ryan shot I ended up with 287, 89, something like that. Ryan shot 299. And Corinne shot 230, 240, and then Josh King actually opened for 220 something in the 10th. So it could have been 1050 or 1060. It was just
I remember that because I remember Klaus shooting 299.
Yeah.
I think you guys are actually pretty close to us, if not next to us.
Yeah, so it was a wild game, but we've got that team that we've had close games the entire year. We've had very few blowouts one way or the other.
Right.
And we got some gifts, but we also gave some gifts as well.
You guys took it to us last year or last half. I remember that.
The season for giving, but yeah, generally speaking, we're the annoying team that is not going to blow the doors off anybody, but we're not going to beat ourselves either. So I think we hung out in fourth place just because we were a tough out. Not that we were gonna, shoot 950 like one of those other teams up there.
Those are the teams that are a pain in the ass to bowl because you just never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
They're either gonna run you over or it's gonna be a grind fest.
Yeah, we're like a typical like Pittsburgh Steelers team or something. It's like it's not going to be pretty.
Are you Russ Wilson? Because if you are, I want to slap you.
Yeah. It's not going to be pretty, but we're going to be really hard to beat. So
I'm sorry. Once you said that, I had to say it. That reminds me. When we get done here, reminder everybody: if you're football fans, there's a lot of college football on today. College football playoffs. So
that'll be cool.
If you bet and you're in an area that can bet, get your bets in because they're getting ready to start. Actually, if they're not already.
Okay.
If they even have the Sugar Bowl tonight, we don't know.
Yeah.
Because of that whole deal in New Orleans last night. So.
Yeah, I don't watch a whole lot of college football, but the playoffs, it's kind of like NBA. Like I am not going to be caught dead watching an NBA regular season game, but when they actually start trying in the postseason, once we get through the 3 months of the NBA, 3 months long NBA playoffs, I'll start watching towards the end. But
well, yeah, of course. Do you want to start off and do something a little different instead of doing our big topic, which obviously would be the Brunswick products cancellation of that whole thing, or do you want to start with goals for 25?
Yeah, let's start with what went well in 2024, what didn't go well, and then what we want to accomplish in 2025. And I do have a couple updates for the season or for this year in general, but
2024 for me was more of it's kind of up and down. I had a very good league season last year at Royal Crest. I would like to continue to get back to that level, but not that it was like an impressive level or anything. But I averaged 220 last year, which was a goal to get back to 220 after a year or two off of it. And I felt like I easily could have been 222, 223. I left some sticks out there, but that was a good. This year hasn't started off so great. One big thing this year that I really want to do is I want to get back and work more, like actual practice. I'm really bad about practicing. I need to get better. I'm going to nationals here in 3 months. So I need to get to work. Consistency is another thing. I know every bowler wants to be consistent, but when I say consistency is Like if I go out and shoot 680 one night, I can go back to the same pair and shoot 560. I mean, just consistency, consistency with footing, timing, release, everything, because it makes a big difference. And I know I'm trash when it comes to that. So it's just tempo. Tempo has always been a big problem I've always had. I don't know why, but it just always has. My feet like to get fast. They're never slow. They're not Jared Freed fast by any means, but
yeah.
But 25 is my biggest goal is to get better. And I know everybody wants to say get better. Everybody wants to get better, right? But I actually genuinely want to put in the work and get better. So hopefully I'm able to get away and do it. We're kind of smack dead in the middle of gymnastics season for my kiddo. So it's hard to get away. But now I'm shelved with this for a little bit. But once I get back, I'm definitely going to get out there and practice. So if you have free time, let's go practice on some patterns. I need to get on patterns more because I've got a lot of that coming up. So.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that I think it was kind of, it punched us in the mouth at Swiss Trios, really.
It left a bad taste in my mouth for sure.
Because it's like, I'm not gonna let a bad weekend at a tournament cause any problems, really. But we did have some, you and me and Bruce kind of all talked about it. It's like, okay, well, I mean, there's a difference between having a bad weekend and just getting completely obliterated. And we didn't really practice going into it. Bruce hadn't bowled a lot, period, going into it. And I think we didn't realize how big of an issue that was going to be until we got there. And then I think we all kind of gave it. It's like, well, we're not like out of it.
Usually we're mid-pack.
But we were out of it going into Sunday. And then we spent the first 2 or 3 games just kind of treading water. And at that point, it's kind of like, just whatever. It's the weekend. We'll give up. But at the same time, it's like, well, I mean, we're there for a whole weekend. It's a kind of a big tournament, and to, watch it for anybody that doesn't know the tournament, we had a front row seat to the best bowlers in the house the entire weekend, and that's not where you want to be.
No,
unless you're on the same pair, which there's teams, and I mean, like the top 10 or 12 teams, definitely a lot better than we were, but we normally kind of stay in the middle of the pack. And, there's 48 teams or 46 teams, depending on the year, but, I'm okay in 20th, 25th. I mean, that's right in the middle of the pack, a format like that. Be nice to, be within threatening distance, but like not at the bottom of the list. But the way the format works is you bowl in order of your placement. And so if you are
position round every game.
Yeah, position around every game. So if you are watching the best bowlers bowling and you are not on the same pair as them, that means you're in dead last, or that means you're very close to last. And we spent several games directly next to the first and second place team.
That was not fun.
And that was not awesome. And we had some talks about it. Bruce is busy. He's actually going to step back. We talked about this a couple days ago. He's actually going to step back from bowling for a little bit because he's got some crazy. I mean, he's got a lot of stuff going on, but at the same time, you've got kiddo that's 9.
She's 9
now. She's 9. She's into gymnastics big. We got plenty of nights of bowling, and it's just, I think the last thing that anybody wants to do, it's like, God, I don't want to go practice. Like I'm out shooting video all the time, and so I'm getting reps in, but I'm not really getting practice in.
Right.
Trying to shoot a ball video and actually practicing are completely different things. And trying to actually get some reps in, it was just an awful weekend. And I think that kind of, it's like, okay, it's frustrating. It's not that big of a deal, but it did kind of drive home the point, exactly what you're talking about. It's like, I want to do the same thing. It's like, there's a difference between having a bad tournament weekend and being embarrassed.
Yeah, and that's it. I'll be honest with you. It's that tournament that left the bad taste in my mouth. And I told myself, this is not happening again. So,
yeah. Well, and Bruce kicked us in the ass a little bit about it too. And rightfully so, I think, because I kind of cruised. Again, with me being on the left side now, I'm kind of on cruise control because it's like, okay, well, I'm not really going to be competing. But if you don't ever try to compete, you're never going to compete.
No, that's fact. Yeah.
And so I've just been on cruise control for a little too long. And so it's kind of like, okay, well, he's got a point. So
no, he's right. He's 100% right. And I'll be honest, we should be embarrassed. That was bad. And once we got through, we weren't even done with day one. We got to that last game of day one. I was like, F this.
Yeah, I think that after the day went so bad, and it's not like most of the time, one year we at least have one of us that's putting up some good games here and there, or at least holding us in contention. We all bowled like absolute dog balls the entire weekend. We get
it was
bad shots. We all missed spares, very simple spares. I threw away 2 games at least by missing like a 5-pin and a 6-pin or something. And so it's just kind of like, I mean, 1 point can completely change who you're bowling against.
Oh yeah, and to remind everybody, it is a pattern. They're not easy.
Very difficult pattern.
So you got to make shots, and as a reminder also that when you're bowling on something like that and you're struggling, it is very, very easy to miss spares because you can get so frustrated that spares just get blown out the window. You're like, it's just a 10-pin. I'll run up there and cover this, and then you whiff it, and then one whiff turns into another open because you split the next frame. It's just when you're grinding on stuff that's hard like that and it's not going well. It's almost impossible to get yourself back if you're not mentally.
Well, and we saw a lot of really good bowlers that didn't average 200 on the weekend. They didn't average close to 200. Some of them we saw. Correct. And so, Correct. Even though we're bowling against the best bowlers, we saw plenty of 150, 160, 170 games. So it's not like everybody else was blowing.
We saw 130s.
Yeah. Not like everybody else was just blowing the doors off the pack. It's just we were that bad.
I mean, a couple of years ago, say it was the same pattern. We obviously didn't bowl last year because Trevor got married. Thanks a lot, Trevor. But I watched Chris Prather shoot 130. I mean,
big names. There are plenty of big names that you see on TV regularly that are at this tournament, and it was not fun. But I do like that pattern. It seems like it's very fair left to right. The right side breaks down, but it doesn't really get that much easier. And you got lefties that aren't throwing urethane. I mean, you got guys like Eric Jones that you would just will not see him without urethane playing 4th arrow with reactive balls. And so the right side doesn't break down kind of like you expect. It's not like it just, we'll get a couple games on it, breaks down, it opens up. That doesn't happen. So it's very fair. It's very fair. It's tough. It's challenging. If you shoot 200, you feel like you actually did something. But if you don't shoot 200, it's not like, this pattern is just unfair and impossible. It's like, I'm just not good enough. So I hope they keep using that one because I don't like it, but I appreciate it.
Oh, I hate it. I think they probably will because it was created for the Swiss trios. And nice thing is Jesse told me when we get closer to it, honestly, I should bowl on it now. Because it is one of those patterns that would even help you at nationals. If
it's one of those patterns. You just put it down and practice on that, and it's going to fix a lot of your stuff for everything.
Yep. Jesse said that he'd put it down for us anytime we want. So Jesse Bauer, for those that know Jesse or don't know Jesse, he's converted to 2 hands now. Was a good 1-handed player and hit the crap out of it at the bottom, but now it's 2-handed and hits it even harder. But he even went out there and had a miserable day. I watched him go 140, 240, 160, 260. Like it's terrible. And like he said, he spares.
Jesse is the 2-hander that's shown up in several of my videos over this year.
Yes.
For reference.
I always forget that you got him to do that. Sorry. Sorry, I'm drinking a Jack and Coke now. For those.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go. I was kind of running out of time because I forgot that I had a few things to situate down here, and then I get down here and the power cord hadn't made it down for the monitor, and so I had to scramble at the last minute to go find that, and so I didn't bring my top shelf down, but I got some gifts for Christmas.
Sweet.
Huh?
Santa brought me a PS5 this year, so anybody that's a PS5 gamer needs to shoot me some games. Not really underdog. What's the word I'm looking for? Like, not games that people don't think that are like, shoot me some game ideas because I need to get some because I got a PS5 but I don't have any games, so I'll just download them offline.
There. Should I open the dog whiskey or the new stuff that you got me? Or
Ooh.
all right.
Ooh.
Well, let's do the dog
whiskey.
whiskey and then my Caribbean Glenlivet.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What?
She got me
Caribbean
a
what?
Caribbean cask Glenlivet. And unfortunately, I have developed a taste for top shelf now. Because it used to be like I do really like the stuff that just punches you in the mouth. You take a little sip of it and it's just like your mouth is on fire and it punches you going down. And I like being able to take just let it hit your tongue and then you get the full flavor and you get the punch and whatever else. And so the more expensive, like smoother stuff, it's kind of like this is okay, but it didn't really taste like anything. But then I'm like, okay, well, this doesn't make any sense. This has to be expensive for a reason. And so that I'd had a buddy that Timmy got me a really nice bottle of 10 Cup 14. Mr. Bill got me, this was last year, KCO, but he got me a bottle of Aberlour, 16-year Aberlour.
Oh, you and I tried that one, I think.
Or however.
Sorry, I'm just in my earbud right here.
But
you bougie bee.
But that
I'm sorry.
Johnny Walker pack that's got the Johnny Walker Blue and the 18-year and the whatever. And so I'm like, there got to be something I'm missing. And so I just sat there with it. Now it's like I like the really smooth, silky stuff that you get the flavor and you get a little bit of that crispy burn, but then instead of mostly burn, you get flavor. And so now all of a sudden I'm like, I just need to go spend $200 on a bottle of Johnny Walker Blue Label.
I gotta go get the glasses.
Okay.
Miss 5 pen, I'll take a whiskey. I need somebody. If anybody lives near Colorado other than Mr. Bill, I know he lives out there, but Denver area that can get me some Breckenridge whiskey, I would gladly pay for it. I really want some. That actually turned out to be some of my favorite whiskey and bourbon. So who needs that damn gummy bear?
I needed another giant gummy bear.
Weren't we like eating it on the?
Yeah, we did start eating it, and then Angel's like, "No, we're throwing it away." And I'm like, it actually tasted really good too, though. Also, Max sent me Scarred Print sent me some jerky. There's a guy out there that that's kind of a local thing that does his own jerky, and so he sent me several flavors for us to try on the stream next week. And I think Lockwood's actually driving up here for the stream because he was talking about having me drill some thumbs for him while he was up here too. So I think he might actually be here with us on the stream and not phoning in. So
sweet. I can confirm that Zach Wilkins will be joining us on Monday evening. I just need to give him a time. Told him however long he wants to be there. I don't know if he's going to be back yet, but he's currently in Canada. So he's on fire. I mean, he shot 858 the other night. Last night, I think.
Oh.
Something like that. But yeah. And then he started off his first game of this year in a tournament with 300. So, kid's on fire. We can talk to him a little bit about, tour stuff. I mean, the tour.
Yeah, I think he's still going to be on with Brunswick. So I know a lot of his stuff was up in the air last year. He got off with Motive because that wasn't working out for him. And he was really up in the air towards the end of 2023. And then he got on with Brunswick. He had a really good year. And he's.
I mean, did we expect any less when he got to throw like 75 more balls?
And he's always been refreshingly transparent. Even if he shouldn't say things, he just says them anyway because it's like, well, it's the truth.
Honey Badger don't give a.
So
sorry.
That's what I would expect. Good conversation from him. And then Lockwood was, for those that either don't remember or that do remember, he was my Beer Frame co-host in 2018, 2019, long time ago. And he's lost a ton of weight. He's in really good shape now. He Amplify, that like Verity Crawley and a lot of the PBA pros, Amplify's in Wichita. And the guy that owns it, runs it, bowled with us in Tulsa.
Andy Sykes.
And so Anthony will be able to tell us a lot of stuff and share what he's been up to and all that stuff. So that'll be fun. And then of course Zach Wilkins will be a good time. So.
Yeah, they pretty much made it sound like we can have him as long as we want. So it doesn't really matter to me. He can stay on with us for 30 minutes, stay on for an hour, stay on for 2 hours. But I just need to see what time is best for him to come on. We could probably start off with like Lockwood and us, and then bring Zach on that way. We can kind of get some attention give us some attention to Lockwood being on.
Yeah, so we don't have too much going on all at the same time. So
are we going to be able to fit all three of us?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Lockwood's tiny now, so
he's. Tell him he is. Well, I mean, because we got the computer and stuff on there. So
I've got another seat here somewhere, but yeah, we'll have plenty of room.
Are we gonna need to bring out our wireless mics?
Nah, this one cover it.
Okay. Say I can bring my Yeti if I need to bring it too. So
I'm not sure I'd be able to work that, and I'm not sure how Restream would handle it anyway. So multiple inputs and such. I got these really cool whiskey glasses from Angel's grandpa. So her grandpa died several years ago, but they've got like this one's got it's like different movie reels on it, like Douglas Fairbanks, and you can see the picture of the person on the other side of the glass.
That is badass.
Charlie Chaplin. Really cool. You see that as this thing refocuses.
It's looking good to me.
Barrymore. So yeah, they're very, and they've got different ones on there. Like this one's got the Declaration of Independence on there, and so I've been using these as my whiskey glasses because her grandma got moved to an assisted living place, and so they cleaned a bunch of stuff out of the house and kind of split it up, and we got the whiskey glasses. So
that's pretty cool. Oh, I did forget to tell you, we did end up with the 8th place in scratch finish in Tulsa team. So I actually did something good this year. So I need to, and I was bowling with Wilkins, so he carried us. But no, that was a nice to get a little top 10 in a big tournament like that. So
I don't think I had a really good weekend, but I don't think I cashed in anything because I just shot. Well, I just shot 680 every set. I think I had one bad set. I think it was in singles. I shot 570 in singles. The first set of the doubles and singles, whatever that was, I shot like 570. And then I shot a couple of 680s in team and then like a 660 in doubles or something like that. So I didn't have 6-game combine. We didn't do anything special in team. I didn't do anything special for all events. So I think I just had a solid weekend, but
good. Yeah, that's. I mean, you bowled really good there the year
before.
Yeah.
So I'm fine. I threw it good. I wasn't unhappy about how I threw it at all. So
we see the questions in here. We'll get to them.
Yeah. I do need to catch up with the chat because there's a few things in there that we will talk about.
Did you go over your goals though? Did you say what you're looking for 25? Or are we kind of on the same page?
We're kind of on the same page. I need to get some more work in, and actually, It's one of those shit or get off the pot type of things. And I've just been kind of It's like I've been so busy with videos and stuff, and this year was extra busy. And I'm like, man, I just don't want to be in a bowling alley if I don't have to. And then the league we've had a couple rough tournaments. The carry has been really rough at Royal Crest, and so it's just everything I'm doing with bowling right now is just completely zero fun. And I'm like, man, I'm just not. I need a break. I'm going to stay away from it. And
no, I get it. I completely get it. I just don't want to go back to nationals, especially after the performance in at Swiss and Wichita, and go down there and literally just embarrass myself again. So we're kind of aligning ourselves up for a classified team because you got a couple of bowlers that myself and I don't remember who else is on the team, but we've got it set up where because we're in that lower division, if we can find a way to put something together, like not even something crazy high. Like if I was to find a way to shoot 640 and Trevor's dad was shot 640, and then you got our lower average guys that are putting us in that division, shoot 570, we're going to be up there. So, because Trevor asked me, he's like, do you want to be on one of the good teams or do we want to be on a classified team? Well, I said, well, to be honest with you, I've got a better chance to win an Eagle if I go bowl on these classified teams. So I don't give a shit. If it's an Eagle's an Eagle. I'm not saying I'm going to go win an Eagle, but you get my point. Like kind of like Bruce. Bruce had that lower division a couple years ago and went ape shit at nationals and almost got a damn Eagle. Do you think he would have gave a shit that it was a classified division or whatever division it was, standard or?
Nope.
Would you? Exactly.
Especially being on the wrong side now. But
I think my doubles partner for nationals is Jerry Gentry, I believe, though.
That'll be.
But I'm not 100%.
That'll be pretty okay. And yeah, it's one of those things that's like, okay, well, if I'm going to keep bowling leagues, because I'm going to keep going to these tournaments, like I need to find somebody for doubles at Hayes next month now, February.
Well, I'm hoping I get the bowl.
Oh yeah, well that would be a thing. And then
Talk to Riley. I think Riley Riley usually bowls it.
You
I don't know
mentioned
who he
Riley,
bowls
so
with.
I might ask him. So I'm going to bowl that, and then we got Southwest in March, or I have Southwest in March. I'm not sure if you were unsure if you were okay. So
I'm
you're
out.
out for Southwest, and then Bruce is out for Southwest now. But
Because I let Linda know Mark can't go, and I also sent her a message and said I don't know what day I'm getting back from nationals, and I really don't want to go drive 12 hours, get back home, then turn around and have to go pack my car up, change bowling balls, clothes, and go straight back to Wichita. So I'll
but yeah,
hard
I'm
pass
bowling
on
that. I'm also going to go out for the Dutchman in Pennsylvania in late April with some of the guys from the Discord that come up for
The
KCO
Dutchman,
and Springfield and stuff like that. So I'm going to go out to the Dutchman in April, and then we've got Springfield in June. We got Nationals in July. Then we've got KCO in September. We've got Swiss Trios in September. Then back to Tulsa in October. And so it's one of those things that's like, okay, well, if I'm going to keep bowling all this stuff, why am I just not going to try? That didn't make any sense. Like, I like going to the tournaments, and even if I didn't bowl them, I would still want to go to Tulsa for the weekend just to hang out, or I'd want to go to Southwest to hang out. Swiss Trios, definitely. But I'm like, well, if I'm going to keep bowling these, why am I just going to show up and, half-ass it because I don't really care? Is I either need to stop bowling the tournaments, or I need to actually pay attention and try when I'm at the tournament. So,
Exactly. And I think we're actually going back to Tulsa twice this year. I think we're going to go at the beginning and towards the end. So if you're wanting to go twice, because you can.
We'll have to see how it works out logistically, but I wouldn't be. Yeah, I do like going to Tulsa. And we need to.
Well, and if you go to make it cheaper, you could always do what we did and just get a B&B. Like Johnny and I and Amanda had a B&B in Raylan and saved so much money. We're 2 minutes from the bowling center, right down the street, same street. Nice house too. We're gonna try and get it.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, once we get closer, we'll figure that out later. But yeah.
Oh yeah, of course. Dutchman, which bowling alley in Pennsylvania?
It's where the Dutchman normally is. I guess the Dutchman is one of the bigger tournaments up there, kind of like a Greater Ozarks or a Tulsa or something like that.
A couple tournaments I'd like to bowl. I've never bowled the Peterson. I'd like to bowl the Peterson. We actually have Toby Contreras, who's the PBA Midwest region manager and former PBA title member, or former PBA title winner, actually runs a called Halfway to the Pete tournament here in Kansas City. And he actually runs it in the den at Aaron's. And they do everything where they put the tarp, or not the tarps, but the banners up, so you're covering up the pins, and they do all kinds of different things. They strip one lane, you've got no oil on it. So it'd be fun to go do that, to even just get a taste of it. The Hoinky is another one I'd like to go bowl. And yes, I said the Hoinky. Hoinky is a very, very big tournament. It's been going on a long time. So just a couple bucket list items I'd like to do sometime.
Yeah, so I guess going along with it, small announcement, but I am not reviewing all of the Brunswick brand stuff this year, and that's going to be a little bit of my rant later. But I'm not doing all of the Brunswick stuff this year. It was with doing, and I wasn't even expecting to have the Brunswick thing last year. Like I got off with Storm. I'm like, I'm going to make videos for Zach and Tobias and any other random ball I happen to pick up and drill throughout the year. And then Brunswick reached out to me and said, "Hey, can we send you everything?" And I'm like, yeah, I'll
sure.
I'll definitely do it for at least 1 year. And it was, and then we had the odd motive ball in there. And so it was definitely busier than I wanted to be, but it was a good year. I got to throw a lot of great stuff. But this year I'm only going to be doing Brunswick track and hammer.
Yeah, that'll save you some time. It's
so much stuff. And then especially I'm doing 3 times the video, because with Storm, I was just doing one review per ball. Now I'm doing a preview to begin with, and then I'm doing a review for Zach and a review for Tobias. And then we have all the Brunswick stuff, which is 4 to 6 balls a month, and then the random motive ball in there. I was doing like 10, 12 reviews a month, and that's
a lot.
It was just way too much. And so I'm backing off on that a little bit. I don't have everything else is going to be kind of business as usual, but that's kind of the stuff that we threw the most often. And so they gave me the opportunity to just pick a couple brands to stick with. And so that's what I'm going to do for that. but there's a little bit of a rant that's not really a rant later, but just kind of some stuff to put out there.
I'm excited to hear it. How about that?
Yeah.
I'm excited to hear it. 2 seconds.
But,
Checking my stuff.
yeah, I'm going to check out the comments here. This one, I'm not entirely sure of. It says, it's apparent the storm level is a tour-only ball. Shocking storm would make it 2 points lower than 78 hardness, since not being urethane. Shocking they didn't make it lower. It's actually a 73 hardness ball, so I'm not sure where. Let me go look. The website's probably wrong because it's a 73 to 75 ball. It's not a urethane ball. They have completely avoided saying urethane whatsoever when it comes to the level.
They're trying to make it like Motive's microcell stuff.
It's urethane, but they've completely avoided saying urethane. Yeah, on the tech specs on the website, 73 to 75. So I'm not sure where that information came from, but that's wherever you got that from. They weren't right. The website.
They really needed another option to off that IQ 78, or they were gonna fail. They were gonna drown.
Yeah, what it really looks like to me, having seen a lot of the reviews out and seeing stuff, it really looks like a Zen U that just isn't going to lane shine. So I'm not sure. Sometimes they made a big deal about spec when it came out, and a lot of these companies have made really big deals about different stuff, and it may be really different on paper, but if it's not ultimately significantly different on the lane, it's like it doesn't really matter to a certain extent. It's kind of like golf technology when they talk about, the moment of inertia and this, that, and the other. And we did this crazy new thing with this driver, and it's like, oh yeah, I can still slice with this one too. So, or these 5-layer golf balls or whatever else, and it's like, still shank that right into the woods just with the rest of them.
I'll lose that shit just as fast as anything else.
Yeah. So the level really just looks like a solid purple hammer. Kind of. I think it's a little stronger, a little sharper than the purple hammer, really, but it's awful close. And I know Tobias isn't going to get one, but Zach's going to get one, and I've got like 3 Zen U's laying around down here, so I'm probably going to let him. And I'm not sure now that I stockpiled Zen U's because I kind of liked them, and they were. I had a really good year in singles with one at Nationals a couple of years ago, and so I stockpiled them. But then I got off staff, and I can throw purples and blacks now. So the Zen U's are kind of like, I mean, okay.
I mean, it makes sense. But you stash a bunch of them because you're lefty now. So
I think I'm going to have Zach drill one of them to compare to the level, because that's really what I want to see. If the level basically has Duramax now, which, Motive's Duramax just holds the surface longer, the level is going to hold the surface longer. And this new ball is basically a Zen U on paper. For all intents and purposes, they're not saying urethane. It's a softer cover, but watching everybody throw it, it's like, well, it's definitely in a very urethane-y direction.
Which is something, like I said, it's something that SPI really needed.
Yeah. And watching Chris Barnes' little mini review that they put up on the channel, that IQ 78 is awful. Because they can't throw the pitch black anymore, and they've kind of shoehorned that IQ 78 in the red ball and kind of made it function, or kind of forced it to work. But they definitely needed something different. So the level, I think, at the very least, will be a significant upgrade over what they have currently.
IQ 78 is still your spare ball, isn't it?
Well, I'm using a black hammer for my spare ball now because the 78 wasn't even really that good at that. So,
here, real quick. Slapstick says, a little sad you're not doing radical. Your conspiracy HK22 fill interpretation was when I finally started watching your stuff. Go ahead and for the people, one time in 2025, give us your fill.
Yeah.
Because he does it better than Phil.
The Venom Shock has more deflection. I put that in a video, and Brunswick sent me something. He's like, oh my God, I got to show this to Phil.
I'm sorry, but you do Phil better than Phil does. That's pretty bad, considering it's the guy's own damn voice.
But yeah, and there's some of them, like if there's another game breaker, and it depends on what Jesse's an Ebonite staffer, so he may still drill some stuff, and James drills predominantly B7 stuff, and so we might have some stuff after the fact that it's like, okay, if Jesse sees something he wants to drill, we'll probably get it on video, or if there's something that I see that I happen to want, I'll probably get it and give it a shot. But it's just too much, and generally speaking, they're just looking at the viewing, the numbers from the viewing. people just weren't really that interested in the other companies. So it just, if there's a theorem that comes out, or if there's a new, there's always going to be a Black Widow or something like that, and then Brunswick is kind of the main company.
It's the big name. Yeah.
So
we're getting a solid theorem. It's happening. It's going to happen.
I'm looking forward to that, and that's really the thing is that, and those were the balls that I threw the most of last year anyway, because I got to have the hammer for the urethane, and then of course Envy Tour, Hammer Effect Tour, stuff like that. So Hammer just top to bottom is definitely in the zone, and then there was a lot of good Brunswick stuff, and then Track is kind of the other brand. The other ones are kind of hit and miss. Like we'd get a GB5, and then we get something weird, and then we'd get a Crusher or something like that. And then the Deviate balls are up and down, and I mean,
I'm still waiting on my theorem to hook. By the way,
yeah.
Don't forget, if you need another lefty out there too, you got Trevor's an Ebonite staffer too.
Oh, that's the other thing too. But he just normally he's so far behind the times, especially over the summer. But now they had the baby too, and it's like, man, this ball's like 5 or 6 months old, and he's just finally getting a chance to drill it. But
I'll say he'll have it as soon as it shows up. It'll be there right after they announce it. He just won't wait 5 months to.
Yeah, exactly. He just won't drill it for a few months. Anyway, let's see. Jonathan, do you think the increase in average was more physical or lane play ball choice this year?
I'm assuming this is referring to because I had a higher average this year. I honestly think it's a combination of both, of all three things, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Physically, I felt physical game felt pretty good for a year. Lane play and ball choice, I had a lot of confidence. I found something that really looked good and worked on a consistent basis at that place. And with that, I mean, obviously you're going to make good shots with confidence. So, yeah, it was definitely a combination of the three things. Good question.
My average is down almost 10 pins. So.
My average is down now. I think I'm at like 215, so 14, 15.
I've been hanging out at 213 for a while, and I think the last, because we took, what was it? We took 24 the last week of the season. I shot like 570 or something.
Yeah.
And of course we were on we bowled Trent's team, and Trent wasn't there, Corinne wasn't there, and Josh wasn't there. It was miserable.
Yeah.
Absolutely miserable. It was one of the not good 1 and 2. And so we barely shot, or we shot like 2450 or something, which is just a little over 610 average for the team, and we got 24. I got 3 shooting 570.
Oof.
So
that sounds like 1 and 2. I could also see that being 17 and 18.
Yeah, and that's the weird thing is that we did really well on 17 and 18, and 1 and 2 was miserable.
Well, I did drill, so I was starting to slowly sink, and everything I was throwing at the Royal Crest was too early. Like the NV Tour, it was just too early. I thought they were hooking a little more at the beginning of the year, and then I drilled that Summit and Ion Pro, and those have really helped.
Yeah, I knew that.
Tobias though finally got to witness my theorem not hooking, and he says I need to bring it every week for when they fly. But yeah, that Summit though, my God, I can't say enough good things.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh, it is so good. That's the first ball I've ever had with the AI core in it too. So it kind of makes me want to drill some more AI stuff because it really does give you hits that you will go, how the heck did this carry?
And it seems to be, for me, it was just localized to that specific ball because I tried some of the other ones and I'm like, well, the Summit Peak is not like this. The Summit Peak's kind of a puke monster, but
it's probably just that cover core
I think it just really works with that ball in general. And so, that's why I've still got like 5 or 6 of them left on the shelf. And
I'm thinking about if I can get my hands on another one. I'm thinking about buying
it's one of those balls that I'm just not going to be without, period. But anyway, one of the whiskeys she got is the War Dogs edition. And this was one of those Facebook ads that's just all over the place, and I'm like, the face, whatever. Yeah. But you check out the website, and it's actually a real deal. But this, it's just regular Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, 98.6 proof, and they did that on purpose. It's or 98.6 degrees, whatever.
You're gonna make me have to run upstairs and get another.
Yeah, but then there's they actually funds nonprofit benevolent organizations that directly support our human and canine warriors, veterans, and their families. So we saw this, and I showed it to Angel, and she had to hop right on and order me some, and it wasn't cheap, but they're.
Well, have you tried it already?
No, I just opened it, and that's the thing is she got it for me. It's been here for a couple weeks. I just haven't opened it. I'm working on thinning out my whiskey cabinet, so.
Don't thin it out. Just keep stocking it, baby. Stock it up. And I get that. I get it.
It smells good.
That cup is really cool.
Yeah.
Glass.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Is that the one that's got Charlie Chaplin in it?
Gold rimmed on the top too.
That's sweet.
So
that is sweet.
That is good stuff.
Well, 1 out of 10. What are we rating it?
For bourbon, that's probably 8.5 or 9.
Ooh, okay. All right.
It's
all right. I like it.
It does remind me of just kind of like straight up Jack Daniels, which people it's just Jack Daniels, but it's like Jack is Jack for a reason. Like it's
oh yeah,
it's not anything like unique or exciting or whatever, but it's just when you just want a good bourbon or you just want good Kentucky whiskey, you go for Jack. And this is
well, it's one of those that you can. It's like for those that drink or don't drink, or actually for those that don't drink. Here's the example of what Jack is. It's kind of multi-purpose. It's a good sipper. Like it's not bad. It's a little burny at first. Like you take a sip, it burns.
This one does have that edge to it.
But obviously, as everybody knows, it's a great whiskey for mixed drinks.
It won't let you down.
Hence Jack and Coke.
I always look for more interesting things. It's like, well, if I go into we're at a tournament or something, I go in, I'm looking for something interesting. It's like, I know what Jack is, but I'm not going to be disappointed with Jack,
No. I always if I go to a bar and everybody's like, well, let's get some drinks. I'm in a default to something. Always going to be a Jack and Coke. Yuri, Wild Turkey Man, myself. I like Wild Turkey.
Oh man,
I do like Wild
God,
Turkey.
they used to. I keep going back to this, but they used to have a drink that they made me at Westridge a million years ago called the Firecracker 500.
Oh, whoops!
Because the proofs and the alcohol added up to 500. It was a shot of Bacardi 151, Absolute 100, Wild Turkey, Southern Comfort, and something else like green chartreuse or something that they didn't have, so they subbed it out for something else, and it kind of tasted like cinnamon. It was fantastic, but one of those again because it's a shot of each one of those, so it's like 5 shots and then topped off with a little spritz of Sprite or something. So,
I don't do the cinnamon though. Cinnamon, you lost me at cinnamon.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Firecracker 500 though. That's what it's called. Interesting. I mean, I try it. I try anything once.
It was very
okay. Let me back that up. I wouldn't try anything once, but I probably try that.
In the bar one night. It's his fault.
Oh, so you designed
I found it in a book that Deanna had.
Yeah, she found it in one of the mixology books or whatever that they had at the bar.
I need to get one of those books because that'd be pretty sweet to have. All right, I'll read this while you're sipping. Richard Santine. By the way, it was awesome. We got to meet him see him in person down in Tulsa this year. So shout out to him. Question: I have to bowl as a sub this year due to work being slow. Can you use last year's average if you don't have enough games for this year for nationals?
Yeah, because they go off as long as you have enough games for a nationals average. Yeah, it's 20. Right? So it's 3 years. So if you've been to nationals 3 times, they will use that average, and they'll figure something out. You're not going to. They're not going to. Oh, you're going to have to take 220 this year or whatever. That would be I'm sure that's somewhere in the rules, but yeah, if you've been to nationals 3 years, that your tournament average dominates. It's just they only take the converted average as kind of like a backup.
Yeah, so you should be good to go. When do you go to nationals? You can just comment in here.
Yeah.
It's good to see you too. You're still in here with us. Good deal. Yuri, did that drink have an umbrella in it by chance?
No, but it came in a mug.
Did it really?
It came in like a root beer mug or whatever.
Oh, so this is like a big drink.
Well, that's what I'm going to say, because it's a shot of each one of those 5 different kinds of whiskey or 5 different kinds of drinks. Yeah, it was on ice. but it was
Ooh.
5 shots in the drink.
Oof.
So
I don't know, man.
that was back when I could handle it a lot better.
As I say, were you stumbling by the time you were done?
There was
I can drink a
there
little
was
bit.
the rare
but,
occasion when I had 2 of them while we were bowling, but yeah, one was.
I bet you weren't feeling any
No,
pain when you were
I was
done.
feeling pretty good.
I'm on cloud
Let
9.
me see. Surprised AA went to SBI. We can talk about because there has been some moves, and I also kind of heard that the Brunswick Classic deal affected some of their staffer stuff, some kind of behind the scenes thing. They were putting some resources. They were putting a significant amount of resources that direction, and so some people that are leaving the Brunswick umbrella, I guess, had something to do with the amount of resources that they were putting in the classic direction. And so it ended up kind of being a problem a few different directions for them.
Which is unfortunate because I'm sure there's going to be a few that they're going to be like, damn, I really didn't want to lose these guys.
I'm not necessarily surprised that Andrew Anderson went to SPI, but I think that for the way that he likes to roll the ball, I think Motive probably fits the best for that because they're early and they're the slowest one of the brands. And so if you do have a super rolly shot shape like he does, Motive fits very well for that. Probably just got a better offer from Storm.
Probably. I was very surprised to see him leave Motive because the Motive stuff didn't look good for
That's
him.
what happens the vast majority of the time. It's not like they're having issues with they're not having issues with personnel or with equipment or whatever. They just got a better contract from a different company is usually, and that's, which is that it's kind of a professional sports type thing. Everybody, for some reason, there's a whole lot more allegiance or like alleged allegiance to brands or something in bowling for some reason. And people are just stunned. It's like, well, no, if the Dodgers offer you a $700 million a year contract or something, you go play for the Dodgers. I mean, it's kind of the same thing with the brands in bowling. If another company offers you a better contract, and especially
when you're
doing it for a living, it's guaranteed money. So it's beyond everything else. So even if you feel like you have a better chance with somebody else's equipment, if somebody else is paying your bills, and it's like, I'm just going to go do that, and I'll get what I get, and I'll make it work.
Well, I mean, you got that or not to mention this year with the exempt players, that extra money coming in is just pocket money at that point. I mean, that's huge, especially if you can get a better deal and you're already exempt. I'm sure he got a pretty good deal. Andrew Anderson's a good name to have on your.
Justin Knowles is another one, and this is what really tells me that, because you can't tell me that Justin Knowles, a lefty, is going to give up Black Hammer, Purple, and even though it's not on tour, everything else that's not on tour he can use the Purple Hammer in. You're not telling me he gave up the best urethane on the market by a long shot to go to Storm. So
I
now that they have the level, he's going to have something to kind of work with. That it's still new, and I still have yet to see what's really going to happen there. At least it's going to be better than the IQ 78, and he still will have like the pitch black for the other stuff, but they're just not the purple and the Black Hammer. They're just not.
And he's probably already been throwing it. He's probably had it.
Yeah, I'm sure that they've been throwing him, but I think he was one of those that kind of fit in the. It's like, well, because he's not one of the big names, and maybe Storm offered him a better contract, and it's one of those. It's like, yeah, you're just not going to give up. You're just not going to give up the best urethane on the market as a lefty, as a competitive lefty bowling on tough stuff, to go bowl for another company that historically has not had good urethane. So
right, yeah.
So that's definitely what tells me it's definitely a contract thing. I'm just going to say it's definitely a contract thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm sure that I'm sure Motive offered him back. I mean, he won a title for Motive this last year too, with in the doubles, I believe, right? So, they're gonna obviously offer him back. He's a good name for Motive, especially being a smaller brand. But he definitely 100% got a better offer.
Oil question. When the center changes oils mid-league, what do you typically see? I think the local Bolero has been flipping back and forth between oils. What I'm imagining you're meaning like the pattern rather than the oil type. They might be changing the oil type too, but oil type isn't as noticeable. If it's the same pattern, you're going to notice some different things. Some are higher viscosity, some hold up longer, some play a little bit slicker, some play a little bit drier. But if you change the actual pattern, I think you're going to see more difference than if you change the oil type. So,
yeah, if you've changed oil type, like you said, it's just you're gonna see it's either gonna play a little tighter, or they're gonna hook a little more. I mean, and it's not gonna be so much noticeable. Excuse me, you'd feel like you're just on a pair that you're like, man, this pair's a little tight. Yeah, that's all it is.
I'm with Bolero. I don't know what to tell you there. Because they could be all over the place for absolutely no reason.
Yeah. I mean, just because. I mean, who's going to stop them?
I don't think that there's any consistency to when somebody changes a pattern. But it all varies wildly from center to center. If they change, like I know Gage has been playing around a lot with their shot for the last several years. And I don't think there's never any specific direction that they go. It's not like, okay, well, it's always oiler, or it's always drier, or it's always this or that. It's kind of, well, it's this way this week, and this way this week, and a different way the next week. And
well, that is how Gage has been.
So yeah, I mean, I don't think that there's any. Oh,
our Bolero. I think you mean Lucky Strike, by the way. Sorry, I had to do it.
Yeah, Jonathan. Somebody said Dutchman. Where's the Dutchman? Palmyra.
It's like near Hershey or something. Hershey, Pennsylvania, or something.
It's up near Hershey Park, and that's my. Our daughter's in Williamsport, and so we went to visit them in March, and then we had some friends get married in York, and so we were in that general area for a little bit in March, and so I'm probably going to end up driving up there because I'm probably going to try to tie in stopping and seeing the kid for a day or so, because I don't want to just. Plus, we don't fly because Angel doesn't fly at all. Never going to fly, and so I never got the real ID thing on my license or TSA.
You don't need it yet until May.
But a TSA pre-check or whatever else, like I want to get that stuff done, but at the same time, I don't fly very often. I don't really want to fly. I'd be flying by myself, which I don't really care about. But at the same time, I would rather fly with somebody else that does it all the time. Like I would rather, if I'm going to fly somewhere, I'd fly up with James or something like that. But he's not going for that. And so I'm like, you know what? I'd rather just drive and be able to throw whatever. I don't have to worry about what all the crap I can't take on an airplane, and then shipping bowling balls and trying to take other bowling balls through the airport and all that other nonsense. It's like, it's a 16-hour trip, but I'm like, I'd rather just drive. Almost, I'm kind of at the point now where I don't really mind that anymore, and plus that'd give me a little bit more freedom with, whatever else, and not having to worry about missing planes and all the crap. And then that way I'd be able to fit in a day to hang out with the kids or something. And because I don't really want.
Yeah, I'm the same way though. I'm not flying to nationals. I never even thought about it. We're driving 12-hour drive. Driving. I hate flying. I'll do it. Next time I'm flying is we're going on another cruise in 26, and I won't touch an airplane until.
I actually really love flying, but the extra.
Well, so does Raylan.
The extra kind of nonsense that goes along with it. It's like I'd almost rather just. Because a lot of the time, it's like by the time you get to the airport, you got to make sure that you're there in time to get through all the stuff and check bags in and whatever else to make sure that you're not late or if there's anything going on. And then it's a handful of hours for the flight, and then it's whatever else. And it's like if it's 10 hours or less, you might as well just drive.
Yeah.
And even
you also get to see parts of the country you don't normally see.
So I'm still going to go on ahead and get all the stuff I need to, because eventually I'm going to have that real ID or whatever. So I'm going to go on ahead and get all that stuff taken care of. I'm leaning towards driving this time though. But yeah, the kids in Williamsport, and Hershey is close, and
Hershey is a really cool place to go. If anybody has never gone to Hershey, obviously, yes, that's where the Hershey bar, Hershey's from. But it is so cool. Like that, go to tour the building, the Hershey factory is pretty sweet. I did that when I was like 16, 17. I might have been younger then. I might have been like 13 or 14, but it was pretty cool to go through there, and I still remember it. So
All right, so this is where that came from. Out of the box, Hicklin measured the level at 76.5, and I've been hearing a lot of scuttlebutt like that, like the storm stuff. A lot of the storm stuff is supposed to be in this certain zone, but it's been coming out a lot harder than it's supposed to. I remember I think the Ion Pro is kind of that direction too, because mine's awful. Like it is the worst ball I've ever filmed for because it just would not hook, and it looks okay on the house shot. But mine's a marble, and a lot of the storm stuff up until aside from the summit, and then up to the last couple months, like the last couple months, the Origin looks really good. All the stuff they put out the last couple months, physics blackout, all that stuff looks great. But a lot of them were testing harder, like significantly harder than they were supposed to. And so that's why if you had a storm ball that just seemed like it floated or never really, like my Ion Pro just never sees the lane. It just kind of spins and spins and spins, and then it hits friction and it kind of tries to do something, but it's a freaking marble. And it lane shines in a heartbeat. And so, yeah, the level's supposed to be 73 to 75. But the level compared to the new, that's the other thing, is that this is part of my rant too, is that, some people have been asking the question because it seems on paper like it's like, okay, it's not urethane, but it's very urethane-like. It isn't like the new blue hammer. And you've had some people that have said, and not saying anything, like I think Chris Vi pointed out to somebody and said, oh yeah, the completely different formulation. It's not really like that at all. And it has nothing to do with him, but it's kind of like whenever these companies put out all this marketing crap, and then people are confused, or, well, it seems like this, or it acts like this, or whatever else. And then it's, oh, well, it's just completely different. It's not like that at all. It's like, well, then tell us what it actually is. If you're going to look down your nose and be all snarky about, and I'm not saying, again, Chris Vi has nothing to do with this. He has information that the rest of us don't have. But some people have been kind of like, oh, well, it's just not similar to that at all. Or they're really snarky about it. It's like, well, how are we supposed to know the difference? We see all this marketing crap about this, that, and the other, and revolutionary stuff and whatever else. And then we say, okay, so it's a urethane light ball, but that's not actually urethane. That's the new blue. So is it like the new blue? Oh, no, it's not like that at all. It's a completely different thing. It's like, how are we supposed to know that? And that's one of the big reasons I got off with Storm in the first place, is that everybody's noses are so far up in the air in the ivory tower in Utah that there's no communication. Nobody knows what the hell what's even going on. Nobody talks to each other. It's a freaking mess. And try to get any kind of, and so I just keep getting people asking me questions. Well, I don't know. I'm not even sure that they know. And so when something like this comes along, if they're going to try to act snarky about it, then it's kind of like, well, then just tell us what it is. Because you can look on the you can look on the website and it's like, okay, marketing, more marketing lines. We don't really know what it is. It's just a bunch of marketing garble about, oh, this is completely new and this is different. And it's like, well, it just sounds like a Zen-U with Duramax. Sorry.
It's still a Storm's version of microcell.
And that's what a lot of people think, or they think it might be kind of like an evolution of the spec cover, because they were all high and mighty about the spec cover too. And then it kind of turned out, it's like, well, I really liked it, but it was always a problem for me because specifically they went with the slower absorption because, okay, well, it's going to be a whole lot more durable cover. And I like that. So this is the opposite direction. It's going to be a more durable cover, but it's going to absorb significantly faster. And so it's not urethane, but it's going to hold surface like urethane, but it's also very fast absorbing. So it's not going to create carry down or whatever else. And so it's like, okay, so you're not saying urethane, but it's kind of like a spec Zen-U that doesn't lane shine.
It's a NU blue / microcell ball.
And I'm not.
Jonathan Tiffany right here. I don't like how all the level reviews are people bowling on cheat and or shorter patterns because what do you think?
It's not urethane, but it's that direction. I think that the thing with the new blue is that they made a big deal about that, and it is different. It is kind of unique, but the problem is that it got really clean and flippy when it shined up, and it didn't hold surface that long. So the big thing about urethane balls, like the true urethane balls, like the pitch black and the purple, the black hammer, whatever else, they hold surface for a very long time. So a not urethane ball that actually holds surface could be something really cool, and it could be really good, and we might see it across the PBA Tour all this year and whatever else. But to act like to not even mention urethane and act like it's some big new revolutionary thing, or bowling technology just doesn't really have that far to go anymore. There's only a small window where good ball reaction exists. And so even if something is completely different on paper, you still have to make it work within that small, tiny little window. Because on the specifications, like RGs on bowling balls can go all the way up to like 280 or something, but you don't see them anywhere. You don't see any regular non-urethane balls over 260 because it just doesn't look good above that. And when they have done it a couple times, like a Wild Streak or whatever else, it's just like, yeah, it's okay. But it doesn't, once you start getting north of 255, it just doesn't really look that good. So that's why you see the better balls are all between like 247 and 240 or 247 and 252, because that's just where ball reaction looks best on the majority of patterns right now, unless it's a urethane ball, and then that's so early and smooth that you got to do something with you got to kind of, to get that traditional urethane reaction, you got to go with that weaker core.
I mean, I think you're going to see a lot of the level on tour. I mean, I think when they bowl in that shorter stuff, they're going to,
because it's definitely better than the IQ 78. I think the red ball is going to completely disappear.
Well, it's going to give you more shape too. So it's going to shape more than what those pieces of crap.
Yeah, I think you are going to. I think it's going to be good, and I think you're going to see a lot of use out of it, out of their pros. I'm just not sure it's going to be to the degree, or I mean, Storm almost sounds like Apple sometimes, where it's like, okay, we've had microcell for years, Motive's had, they had microcell for years, they've had Duramax for years, and now, we're making something completely new and revolutionary, and Motive's just kind of sitting there waving over there.
Like, no, you're not. We've done this shit for years. Yeah, like what are you talking about?
So I don't know. But it's good marketing. I appreciate the angle, and especially them not saying urethane anywhere. But at the same time, everybody that's watching goes, well, that looks like urethane. That looks like urethane. That looks like urethane. And so I understand. I appreciate them not taking the Brunswick direction of leaning with the new blue, of leaning into urethane, but saying, it's urethane, but it's not urethane. And so it's whatever. I appreciate them not copying that, but being so ambiguous that you're not really telling people what it actually is. It's like, this is new and this is awesome, and what it is like, well, it sounds like this and stuff that other companies already have.
Yeah, I will say though, with the new blue and the Rattler new, right? The marketing spiel on that with the NU, not urethane. It's
pretty good. And so, but I do appreciate Storm not just copying that. They went their own direction.
Well, if they would have got.
They went their own direction with it, and the new SPI lab concept is interesting, because it's kind of like there's a lot of bowling balls that are just plugging holes. Like people.
Oh yeah.
People kind of don't realize it, but they don't really want new. They just want more of the same with a twist on it.
Yeah.
Like that's why if you put something new out, people kind of whatever. I don't recognize it, and so it doesn't grab me. But if you put a new Black Widow out, or a Phase 2, or a new Physics, or people just line up out the building. But then they also, these companies need to be more innovative and put out something new. And as soon as they do that, nobody pays attention to it. Right. So as far as like marketing at a company, Storm kind of had to do this with the level. They kind of had to. And so even though I'm sitting here talking shit about it, it's kind of like, well, okay, the alternative is that they tell us exactly what it is, or they give us the information, and everybody ignores it. So, and that's kind of, to a certain extent, a little bit of my rant about the bowling, the video side of things. Like, I don't do the clickbait, and I don't do the big, this is the next best ball ever, or this is Hammer's best ball ever, or this is whatever else. I don't get the views like the other channels do, because I don't do that sensationalist stuff. And so it's like, okay, well, I'm going to be on the honor system, and I'm going to be just, whatever else. It's like, you're just not going to get the attention then. And I don't get the attention like the other channels that lean into the clickbait and all of that stuff. And so if you don't, you're just not going to get the clicks. And so that's what Storm is. That's what the whole point of marketing is to get the clicks. And so I think it's stupid, but I can't blame them at the same time, because I'm right in the same boat. if I did all that clickbaity shit, people would complain about it, but I'd also be getting more traffic too. So,
Oh yeah. How do I become a member of this channel?
yeah.
Graham just asked.
Oh, which channel?
Yours.
Oh,
It's a YouTube thing.
yeah. On YouTube, you should see something on the front page where it should say join or whatever. Let me try to find a channel. One of my
Should be right underneath the. It's actually, if you're watching it on your, I don't know if you're watching on your phone or computer, but right next to the logo of the page, there's a little, next to the subscribe button, there's a little black button called says
Let me
join.
see,
Just click that.
one of my channels that I know have. Okay.
Yeah, it's
So if
literally
you go
right
to the
there next to
homepage, it should be where it says subscribe, and it has the bell. There's a button right next to it that says join.
Yeah.
So, and I have a few different levels, but for just the basic $5 a month, you get everything early. Basically, the big thing is ad free. So, and YouTube Premium is like 12 or 15 bucks a month or something like that. So, for $5 a month, you can get all my videos without ads, basically. So, it's kind of a
you post
working
other
angles.
content.
Yeah,
too,
yeah. Everything, and that's the other thing is the members get a lot of the cuts too. So if I'll get like as soon as I generally don't do it for the Brunswick stuff because I can't post anything. As soon as everything goes live or as soon as they announce the balls, I can post the actual reviews. And so I just go on ahead and do that and don't mess with the cuts. But the cuts is basically I'll go out and I'll film and I'll trim the fat, so to speak. I'll trim out all the dead space and any, stupid shots or whatever else. So like for Zach and Tobias, when I get those cuts done, I'll go on ahead and put the raw footage up there. And then I will, a couple days later, I'll whenever I get the review done, I'll put that up. So all the members get to take a look at the ball reaction early before the actual review goes up. And then I have just ad-free versions of every video that I post. They'll get that too. So.
Right. Sweet. There you go. Also, by the way, we were on your topic earlier. So like on the microcell stuff from Motive, I actually never got along with a lot of it. The Tank Blitz was, that ball was go to the microcell. That Tank Blitz was
I think a lot of that's
balls.
what Alex George shot his 840 with in
yeah, Nationals. The ball's so good. When mine cracked, I wanted to cry. The other one, the Desert, is really good. So if I had to pick my favorite two microcell balls on the Motive side, it would definitely be the Tank Blitz and the Desert. The Desert's the one that looks like wood, which is really pretty. I take that a lot if you remember right, I threw the crap out of the Desert at Swiss a couple of years ago. I actually scored with it. I was kind of pointing it off the corner. That was before they had this pattern, though, I think. So, Happy New Year.
Yep. Yeah. Two-Handed Beast lives in Pennsylvania. Yeah, I talked to him he was at Nationals, and so yeah, I talked to him he kind of hung out for the entire doubles and singles set. So I just spent the whole set talking to him. Did you ever stay at the Otisnaga while you were there? No. Didn't that doesn't ring a bell. Uridge.
Oh, I've got something down here I want to show you real quick, and it's a shout out to Derek in our group. He's down here in Discord. He sent me this. So I'm gonna give him a little shout out.
Funny thing, his wife looks exactly like one of my cousins. Her hair's a little bit like my cousin's hair is a little bit shorter, and she wears glasses. But he sent us one of those too, and I looked at that picture. I'm like, holy shit, that's Candy.
Until I looked at this, I never realized that the Santa.
The Santa's on the back, and he's got tats on. Yeah, it's great. It almost looks like Butch Holseth as Santa.
Yeah, it does actually. So shout out to Derek for sending me this. I like having it. It's actually, if you ever go back and see this, it is sitting down here in my stream area. So.
My buddy drives from Lawrence, Kansas to his dad's in Vestal, New York every Memorial Day. Drive straight through. I'm probably not going to drive straight through. That's not my type of jam. But
Jonathan, does your buddy bowl? Because I'm curious who it is. If he's a bowler, because we
would probably know him if he's a bowler. But my son-in-law was stationed at Fort Riley for several years, and that's where he met Chris. And then the last time he went back, she just went back with him. Basically.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
He was at Fort Riley for several years, and so he would drive that back and forth constantly. So he was always driving from Manhattan to Williamsport.
Ugh.
Literally
That's a long
selling all
drive.
my SPI stuff because so many pieces are overshadowed because of HK22. I think overall Brunswick probably has they got 7 companies too, but Storm is catching up. Now I'm not going to go anywhere ever without a Summit. That's just not going to happen. But I do find myself predominantly throwing more Brunswick stuff, especially when you got like Hammer Effect Tour, and I just been predominantly throwing the Brunswick stuff. But I'm not going to give up some of the Storm stuff. Plus, I've got some promotions down there. I've got a Parallax I throw every once in a while. I've got a couple Idle Synergies. I got a couple DNAs, which a lot of people didn't get along with the DNA, but I really like mine. So I'm not ever going to give up any specific company. I do really like that Jackal Onyx that I just drilled. It's probably going to be too strong for me to throw very often, especially since I don't bull on a whole lot of stuff out there.
Oh, I think when it lane shines, you're gonna really like that thing, though.
Yeah. Like Motive's kind of like Radical in that they don't have a whole lot of shape variation. It's all kind of that archy. You'll get a few different shapes every once in a while, but a lot of the stuff is that archy kind of Venom Shock like look. You'll get a couple.
Everything's very round.
You'll get a
very
couple round and even balls, but a lot of stuff is very recognizable as far as the shape goes. But it's a very good shape. So
everything picks up in the mid lane really quick.
Yeah. Core specs are the new blue and the level are almost identical. Yeah, and if you look at a Zen U, it's a Angel. Can you, since you're down there? I think the Zen U is 258,027 or something like that.
What do you just want numbers?
Yeah.
John, for some reason, I thought you were a big Storm guy. SPI.
Yeah, 256,027, and the level's 258,027. So, or 259,027. So, yeah.
Okay. I don't know. For some reason, Jonathan, I thought you threw a lot of SPI stuff. I could be wrong. So kudos to you for branching out if you are a loyal SPI guy. I will tell you one thing. B7 had a heck of a 2024. It made a lot of good bowling balls.
Yeah, I was very happy to. I'm very happy to have good urethane now. Now the pitch black was really good, but I prefer.
That was a good ball.
Yeah. I actually prefer the black hammer to the purple hammer. I've thrown the black hammer significantly more often than I've thrown the purple. The purple,
I think you're high.
The purple has looked pretty good, but the black I can just keep in front of me a little bit more. I think Trevor he's got a little bit higher speed. So the higher speed guys that can get the purple to pop a little bit more down lane. My speed's a little bit slower, so it's easier for me to keep the black in front of me. I get into some angle issues with the purple sometimes. Sometimes it does look really good. Like it looked pretty good for a couple games out at Nationals, but
I think I'm going to drill a black
to go back here. I meant to turn it on, but I was late getting going with everything. Okay, so
I'm demanding.
Okay.
I'm trying to decide if I'm going to drill a black to go to Nationals or if purple.
You would probably be best with the black is easier to keep in front of you, but it's also kind of weak too. The purple might be the nice little zone where it's still urethane, but it pops a little bit more. So you might be better with a purple.
I'm going to take a desert. I think the desert tank to give me a little bit of that microcell, but not so much microcell, but that it gives you that urethane look, but that a little more shape off the back. So that's definitely going to make the bag. But I missed the Motive Villain. Richard, that ball was really good. I still have one actually. So I don't know where it's at. It's around here somewhere, probably in a box somewhere. But yeah, the Villain I still have.
So you may not think that a Scotch would be great aged in Caribbean rum bottles, but it works.
Which one is that?
This
That's
is
the Caribbean one?
Caribbean Reserve, and so it's aged in rum casks. And it tastes like Scotch, but it kind of takes that smoky, harder edge off with the kind of tropical fruity stuff. It just works for whatever reason. However,
I want to try it. If you want to later sharper off the spot, try the Radical Zigzag. I actually have a Zigzag. I need to have it plugged, but I have a Zigzag.
So, Aaron, this rolls right into my little bit of a rant about the ball video stuff, because I was with Storm for almost 10 years,
Long time.
and I
Yeah, long time.
built my channel basically on Storm bowling balls. And so, but throughout that whole time, it's kind of like, wow, I'd really like to hear your take on Brunswick stuff or motive stuff, or I'd like to see new testers and new this and new that. And so me leaving Storm had nothing to do with wanting to kind of branch out necessarily. Like I said, I was just going to be kind of, I've been doing YouTube for 10 years. I was kind of ready to be on the downhill side of things. And so I thought, okay, well, I'm done being on staff. And especially there's a lot of stuff that annoyed me with them anyway. And even though I'm giving up thousands of dollars worth of free stuff a year, I significantly, it was worth it. I'm significantly happier now.
On a side note, by the way, that hoodie is purdy.
This is a new hoodie. I did get an X, like I'm normally in a large, but the neck's a little tight and they're a little form fitting, and so I went with an XL. And even though I have long arms, there's plenty of sleeve. But yeah, this is one of the Cool Wick Elite jerseys.
And since everybody's on the record of posting their staff signings, I'm sure you're the same way, so I'll just go ahead and announce it. Luke and I are both back with Cool Wick for 2025. Rosedal 10, Haas 10, save you 10% off your order.
Zero hesitation there. They sent me a contract. I filled it out.
You and me both, except they make me sign it. There's a portion of it, not to give their secrets out, but in the contract you got to sign it with your finger. Where you got to initial. You got to initial
if you do it.
And I'm like,
if you do it on the computer, you have to sign it with the mouse, and it makes you look like a first.
Oh, that's
grader.
awful. Yeah, you should see me do it with my finger.
It's kind of rough. Now, if I did it on my phone with the stylus, because I've got the Galaxy S22 Ultra or whatever the crap it is. It's got the stylus like the Note.
So you can use
Like I probably should have done it on my phone. Right? And now that I think about it, I'll do that next year.
I'll tell you what, for an apparel company, it's a long contract.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot in there.
Yep.
They're amazing though. So if you've never checked out a Cool Wick item, jersey, hoodie, t-shirt, hats, he's got the hoodie on. Jump over to coolwick.com, use Rosedal 10, Haas 10, and
come here, buddy.
Yourself a new jersey for 2025. Hey, look cool in 2025.
Come dog. Come here.
There's
Pig pigs. You coming, pigs? Nope.
Plug.
You're too chunky.
Wonder if the track will release the heat again with HK22. I don't know. I saw a comment in here earlier about that. What will be the nostalgia release in 2025? I could see us having two.
There's still plenty of stuff that they haven't gotten back into yet.
I'm still shocked that Storm has not done it.
Again, that's
nice guys. Go ahead. Sorry,
I was reading the comment. That's one of those nose up in the air type things. They don't want to nostalgia bait or whatever. It's like, well, we don't want to go back and do that older stuff because we're an innovation company. We're constantly moving on and being bigger and better. And so if we keep falling back on other stuff, then
you're not falling back.
It's an illusion type thing because Brunswick's doing it the right way. They're banking on the nostalgia, but they're also making really good stuff at the same time. And so I think that if Storm did like an X Factor line, but you do it with, if you put out a few new X Factors, but you do it with like current day stuff, that's the best way because you use the nostalgia from way back when, but you do it with upgraded current tech. And so that's, to me, the best of both worlds because of it.
No, that's like you said, if you're going to do it, that's the way to do it. No, yeah. John, nice guys. I'm back with Hallmark. Congrats, man. That's awesome. I thought I saw something on Facebook about that. So yeah, good deal.
Yeah.
Congratulations,
the East Region team lead there.
There you go. It's we're not affiliated with a shoe company, so Hallmark Shoes. They the only brand I believe in the business that use the high top.
Yeah, they're the
and do the high top, and they are owned by, I believe, a guy that's a vet. He's a vet from the military, and I think they have interchangeable soles too. So check them out if you guys never heard of them. Hallmark.
Scotch.
Down in my belly. Sorry. By the way, the Mud Dogs did not make a Bourbon Bowl. Just so you know. I saw John and Tiffany post that earlier. So
unfortunately, Adam Sandler is about 30 years post-college.
By the way, I think we got a sneaky release today. I'm pretty sure Happy Gilmore 2 came out today on Netflix.
Oh, I knew it was coming soon. I didn't know that it was going to be like out now.
Well, I saw a poster the other day that said coming January 1.
Interesting.
So
Let me see.
I could be wrong. And they did just postpone the Sugar Bowl tonight, by the
Oh,
way,
interesting.
because of the terrorist attack.
Happy Gilmore 2 release date.
It was on
Yeah.
Facebook, so it could have been wrong.
Summer 2025. I don't know 100%, but I think around July, not July 4th, but they're trying to get it done in time for July. And
I knew I was being
Adam
duped.
Sandler.
It's terrible.
That was from Adam Sandler. So,
That's
but anyway, with
I might have to run up and make a whiskey real quick because you got me wanting whiskey.
Yeah,
You're sitting here drinking
and this-
whiskey. Give me 2 seconds. I have this
God.
wireless thing. I can actually
Yeah.
run upstairs and come back real quick. So I'll be right back. I can hear you.
But yeah, now that and the Glenlivet is not like super high up Scotch, and I do like Johnny Walker quite a bit. I always say that Johnny Walker is like the Jack of Scotch because it's like, okay, well, I want something more interesting than Johnny Walker. But if I have Johnny, I'm never disappointed with Johnny Walker, especially some of the different flavors that they have. But the Aberlour was good, or the Aberlour, or however the crap I'm supposed to pronounce it. Normally, I do pretty good with pronunciations, but I do like Glenlivet, Glenfiddich. I tried. Angel got me some samplers of some new stuff called Benriach. That's absolutely fantastic. I really like Lafroig, Ardbeg, the really peaty stuff, but the smoky stuff that's just really smooth and silky, and this Glenlivet Caribbean has that kind of top shelf $100 bottle type taste, but I think it's only like $50 or something. So I'm spoiled. But anyway, with my little rant here, I didn't get off Storm so that I could start, because again, Brunswick was never part of the. I'm sure it seemed a little suspect to some people, because I told Storm when I'm like, I'm not leaving to go to another company. I'm whatever else. I'm done with being on staff, and I kind of feel like after 10 years on YouTube, I'm kind of on the downhill side of things. And then the Brunswick thing popped up out of nowhere, and then actually Motive reached out and sent me that Jackal Onyx. But as much as people say that they want new and different, I want to see you throw in other stuff, and I want more testers, and I want more this, that, and the other, that doesn't really work out the same way that people think it works out. Because while people were really interested to begin with to see me throw other companies, the new wears off pretty quick, and all of a sudden it's kind of like, well, I'm a lefty, so I just like watching you. And so if it's just me and all the videos, then you're going to watch all the videos. But as soon as I have a different tester, I've had 5 or 6 different testers over the last year. I've thrown several different companies. I've, Storm, Brunswick, Motive, whatever else. Well, all it does is really fracture the viewer base down into, well, I only want to see you throwing Storm balls. And so if it's not you throwing Storm balls, I'm out. Or it's like, I'm only interested in hammer stuff, but I'm a righty, and so I want to see a righty throwing hammer stuff. Well, if I throw the hammer stuff, then you're out. And so some people just want to see Angel. Some people just want to see Zach, Tobias, Jesse, me, whatever else. And so instead of finding the channel and there being some kind of a consistency, it's like, well, one time it's one person throwing this company. It's another time it's this person throwing this company. We've got a 2-hander. We've got higher rev rate 1-handers. We've got Angel. We've got me on the left side. Everything's a little all over the place. And so it loses some consistency at some certain point for people, which is a fair point. But people say that they want certain things, but then they don't actually want certain things. Like, I watch a bunch of YouTube channels that are basically how to make good thumbnails, how to make good videos, how to increase viewer retention, how to make sure that everybody watches more of your videos. And basically, people just want small variations of the exact same thing. So if you watch Mr. Beast, for example, it's the same video every single time. They're just doing something slightly different. There's a little different theme, or like Dude Perfect, for example. It's like, it's the same exact thing with the same exact people every single time. There's just small variations on the minor details. And so when Luis dropped his Storm contract in the middle of 2024, there was somebody that I really took exception. Somebody put a comment. I was like, yeah, I hope you just don't do what Luke's doing, because I used to really like Luke's videos, but now that he's focusing on Brunswick stuff, I don't watch anymore. And I'm like, well, in 2023, I made one storm video per ball. It was me and Angel, and I made the one video because I couldn't make preview videos. And then I was too busy to keep making additional comparison videos. So it was just one video per storm ball. Now, last year, I make a video for Zach. I make a video for Tobias. And I have a preview video since I can do that now. So I put out a preview video, and then I put out a review, and then I put out another review. So actually I'm doing 3 times the storm videos that I was doing before. But somehow now, even though I'm making one video per Brunswick ball, somehow that means I'm focused on Brunswick now. So people don't pay attention. They don't understand. They don't get it. If you would just take like 3 of your own bowling balls and try to make videos for them and, see how that whole process actually goes and how people receive them. And, people have been really shitty on the internet. Pretty well. It just keeps getting worse all the time. Like, people want to put shitty comments on videos, but then as soon as you clap back at them, then they're like all shocked. And it's like, oh, well, what are you talking about? But at the same time, we talked about J.R. Raymond in the last episode, but the people that are always here and that are always happy and that don't want the drama and they don't want the negativity, if you let the bad or negative comments get to you and you just kind of turn into grumpy content creator, those people don't deserve the constant bitching. They don't deserve you being jaded and upset and all negative and whatever else. And so it is a little frustrating to deal with the increasing negativity online, because everybody's so narcissistic now that they just want to see everything completely catered to them. And I want to see a case of different bowling balls drilled this many different ways. And so I'm supposed to spend $500 on a ball review and take a week to make it and have a 60-minute ball review. Nobody's going to watch that. Nobody's going to be interested. And if you need all that information to figure out what a bowling ball does in the first place, you're not going to understand any of it anyway. Because I can watch J.R. Raymond throw a ball for 5 or 6 shots and know everything I need to know, because I understand bowling balls, I understand layouts, I understand surfaces. So if I see, it doesn't really matter what layout he puts on it. Even he's on the completely other side of the lane, but I can look at it and see, okay, it's got these characteristics. If I lay it out this way, it's going to do this. If I lay it out this way, it's going to do this. More surface, it'll do this. Less surface, it'll do this. Whatever. A couple shots and we're good. So that's kind of my mini rant on that, is that people don't really understand what they want. They don't understand what goes into it. And people are shitty on the internet, but that doesn't mean that you should just be grumpy and pissy and ranty back, because those people don't deserve it. And all you're doing is letting idiots on the internet influence or affect what you're doing. And that's kind of stupid. So
I'll be honest. I went upstairs to make this cocktail, and I got to hear the entire rant. I didn't miss a word. Shout out to wireless ear monitoring systems. Like, just so you know, it's a little tool I got for Christmas from my mother. So, thank you. I mean, it's weird. I'm standing upstairs and I'm still hearing you rant. I'm like, preach it, brother, preach it. I've got this little clip in my back here. I'm about to just take this clip off because it's like pulling my ears. There we go. All right.
Speaking of phones, do you think the camera lens protectors they try to sell you were a scam?
No, they work. If you slam your phone down as a bowler, because we all do it. If you don't, you're lying. Don't tell your wives, but you're lying. We all do it, and they do work. I swear. Am I wrong, Luke?
Yes.
No,
You better say yes.
What? I don't slam my phone down anymore.
No, he doesn't.
Since they cost $1,000.
They're expensive. Did you break one?
No, I don't think I've ever broken one before.
No, I broke yours.
But I used to slam phones down, and I did have one that actually, before my first actually Galaxy S22, or no, it was a different phone that we had to replace the screen on.
No, it was that phone. You had it
Oh.
not even a week.
Yeah, and we were out filming and it got knocked off the table and it hit the bar there in between the seats at Royal down low, that big chonky freaking steel bar.
Yep. I know what you're talking about.
We were filming, we had a bunch of crap on the table, it happened to get knocked off, and so we had to go replace the screen on a.
I'll be honest, this little portion right here, I've got a screen protector over it right now, protecting the little camera lenses. How many times I've actually cracked these?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, honey, I need a new phone. My it's all cracked, and she's like, no, you don't. It's covered. And then you take it off, and your camera's 100% protected. It's like, all right.
The pins in my pocket, I gotta protect them.
That's right. Yes, veteran owned, and we have some killer deals on our high top interchangeable sole shoes. Sweet. So hop on. Go ahead and post the website in here. Hallmark. I'm assuming hallmarkshoes.com. Hallmarkbowlingshoes.com. I don't know. That's awesome though. That's really cool that you.
Yep.
Are
Hallmark.
that,
yeah, hallmarkshoes.com, but it's HOLL. It's not like the card Hallmark HALL. So it's just hallmarkshoes.com. HOLL markshoes.com.
If you have any questions, you can reach out to Jonathan Tiffany. He'll help you out.
Yeah, friends, yuck. 3 fingers of Glenlivet and some cheese make me want to play jazz flute.
Jazz flute. Are you Ron Burgundy by chance?
I'm not sure what. I think we're going to have. We got some rare roast beef and some Swiss cheese. Oh yeah, Angel's cooking steak tonight. So it's one of the weirdest things.
That sounds delicious.
We joke about this a little bit, but Angel's decidedly unfemale in some certain ways, and I'm decidedly unmale. But so everyone say like female.exe is not stop functioning.
Well, I don't know about Angel, but we definitely know that you're not a whole male sometimes.
Well, she doesn't touch the grill or the smoker, but when it comes to making steaks, I walk out the room. Like I just leave.
She just makes banger after banger, right? Like that's awesome.
The steaks that she makes, I don't even want to try. Like I don't even want to learn. Like I could probably work my way into making decent steaks, but hers are so good that I'm like, you just do you, boo boo, and
I actually make some really good steaks because of Woody. Woody taught me a great method, and ever since he taught me that, I can put it to the T. You tell me you want medium, got you medium. You want medium well, boom, got you medium well. It's a timer thing. Like I slap it on the grill, depending on how you want to cook. Put a timer on your phone, boom, rotate it. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, well, we watch Gordon Ramsay stuff like nonstop, and so we pick up on stuff on watching that. And she kind of got that. She kind of got that going, and most of the time we do steaks inside on the grill, but we've got one of those grill top cast iron things with the.
Oh, that's perfect.
Cast iron stone with the like perfect, the ribs on them and stuff, and so she can get the grill marks on there. And she just made them a couple times. It's kind of like, well, these are really good, and so it's like, all right, you just do the steaks then. I don't care.
Hey, just don't.
I just want to eat a good steak. I don't have to make it.
Check and P. Happy New Year's, buddy. Happy New Year. Tonight, so we are doing man, I can go for a steak now. I know, Justin, right? We are actually doing beef ramen and broccoli. Beef, broccoli and ramen. It's kind of like a stir fry type thing. Yeah, I've been wanting it because I'm getting ready to hit my diet again really hard here soon, so I can get rid of some of the fat. Yeah, my a lot of it's my beard's getting thick, but I need to drop some lbs. And no, it's not a New Year's resolution. Yeah. It will happen.
I just need to get in better shape. Period. I knew this was going to happen when I wasn't like working on the road anymore. I don't gain weight. Like I'm one of those. I'm sure that I'm one of those sickening people that I can just sit around, eat whatever I want to eat, and not gain an ounce. But just because you're skinny doesn't mean you're healthy. And when we got new flooring in a month ago, and just moving some stuff around, it's like, my gosh, I am out of shape. And then I'm on the 13th floor of my office building that I'm in for the state. And we had an evacuation like a couple months ago. And so we had to walk down 13 flights of stairs, but we're like walking downstairs. Like walking downstairs, it's just like make sure you don't trip and fall on your face and you're fine. But I got semi-winded walking down. That was 13 flights of stairs, but we're walking down the stairs.
Brother, it's time to hit a treadmill.
It's like, man, and so I'm like, gosh, I shouldn't be breathing heavy after walking downstairs. I don't care how many stairs I walk down, it's not that big of a deal. And so I started instead of taking the elevators down, I started taking the stairs down when I was leaving. And it's like, okay, well, this is getting a little bit better. I tried to get cute one day. I took the stairs up. I got to the 5th flight and I got off and took the elevator the rest of the way out. Because I'm like, I'm not sweating my ass off. I'm going to be all sticky and nasty in here the rest of the day from walking up 13 flights of stairs. But I'm like, man, it should not, like 5 flights and I'm destroyed. That's not.
I'll just be honest with you.
That's not good. 40. Oh, yeah, I'm way over 40. I mean, Angel and I are going to be 44 this year. So, yeah.
I know. I'm just messing with you. I know you're over 40,
still,
but I just say.
It's like you get to that.
I was trying to be nice, but hey, I mean, I guess I'm the one that's.
Well, I was talking to the lady that cuts my hair the other day because she's 33. I think she's your age, or you were Amanda's age. She's like 34, 35, something like that.
She'd be more Amanda's age.
And it's like it's really weird because you get older. Once you hit like 25, everything after that it doesn't really register. Like I think of Trevor. Like Trevor's 30. I think of Trevor as kind of like an equal. Like it's like we're both adults and we're whatever else. But his parents are only a couple years older than Angel and I are. Like Paul and Michelle are what, 47, 48? But I see them as like my elders.
Yes.
And I see Trevor as like kind of like an equal, like a peer on equal. And I see you as the same. You're closer to me, but it's still 7 years. And so
don't put baby in a corner. All right. Don't put baby in a corner.
I was telling the lady that cuts my hair, it's like, well, yeah, you're 10 years younger than we are, but I just feel like you're just another person that we're on kind of the same level. But somebody that's like 55, I feel like they're ages older than I am.
So what you're saying is once your car insurance goes down, we're on the same level.
And you'll feel the same way. Like once you get to 45, you'll feel like everybody that's younger than like Haley is younger than our daughter. Haley's what, 27, maybe 26, 27, 28. Chris is going to be 29 here in a couple weeks. And
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Haley's 25.
Well, that's what I was going to say. And it's just like, I know that she's younger than we are, but I don't feel like she's 20 years younger than we are. And especially a couple years younger than our daughter.
She doesn't act that age.
It's just weird to think of. Like I think you feel it more with people that are older than you than people that are younger than you. Because you just,
Jonathan Tiffany, I used to think you guys were old as well, I'm not going to say that. Old as AF. We all know what that means. And then I realized how old I am. Now we're equals.
Yeah, but it's one of those things you don't really think about the younger side. But you feel it a whole lot more with people that are older than you. But like I said, Paul and Michelle are 47, 48. So we're only a couple years younger than they are. But they feel like, well, they're Trevor's parents. And so they're like an extra level up or whatever. It's like, no, we're on that same level. We're right there with them.
Yeah, we're getting old. It is what it is.
Hey.
I always tell Amanda every year, it's like Christmas is like, this might be my last one. I think I'm going to the grave soon.
Well,
Yuri, you're all children.
Yeah.
Yuri, no, we're on the same level, buddy. We're all
well. That's the weird thing is you feel like you're old. So you hit 35 and you feel, oh, well, I'm old. And then the 40-year-olds, or you hit 30 and it's like, okay, well, I'm getting old now. And the 40-years are like, you just wait. And then the 50-years are like, well, you just wait. And the 60-years are like, okay, well, I don't even know what you guys are talking about. But
we could literally debate on this all day,
and I'm sure our comment section will just fill up.
But
Yuri, I'm not going to call you old, buddy. We're on the same level though. We're all, once you hit that certain age, you're old. Everything hurts when you get out of bed. When you get done bowling, does it hurt? Okay, maybe not when you get done bowling. When the next day when you get done bowling, does it hurt? Because once it hurts,
I mean, you keep looking older in the mirror, but you don't ever you hit 25 and then you feel the same. So like when
here's the kicker. I'm starting to get some grays in my beard, but if my hair starts to grow at all, like if I have it growing on the sides at all, because unfortunately I will horseshoe, it's like so gray, like gray everywhere. Because I always give Amanda crap because she's got grays in her hair and she's younger than me, and she's like,
Well, you just wait.
Yeah.
You just wait. You're gonna.
That's called
Like,
having a
okay,
daughter.
By the way, nobody tell her I just said that. I'll be a super senior in 2 years.
Yeah. I mean, I've got a lot of gray coming in all over the place, but my hair is lighter, so it's harder to see. Like if you get up close on me, it's like I'm almost like half and half now, kind of from here down. But my hair is so light, you just can't see it. But
I'm getting it right in here.
mm-hmm.
No, actually, no, yeah, it's over in here. But you have to get close. And I'm growing my winter beard out. I always grow longer beard in the winter because I don't like cold.
Yeah,
so,
but
then again, I don't let my hair grow out or anything.
But
let me just put it back. See how cool I look. Nah, I look stupid.
To get to this comment, Johnny Black Label, Glenlivet, and Chivas. I like my favorite. I'd probably have to say would be Lafroig, but I'm definitely leaning more on the cleaner stuff, the cleaner, lighter stuff. And so yeah, Johnny Walker Blue Label, I would have to say is my favorite stuff. This Glenlivet's really close. I do like Glenfiddich, Glenmorangie, all the Glens. I like all the Glens.
Smoky stuff, like
Lafroig
chewing on a stick, as Angel would say, right?
Yeah. Lafroig and Ardbeg are extremely peaty. They're acquired tastes.
I actually like it.
Very smoky.
The Highland and the Islay. I was reading.
Yeah, I'm getting Angel educated on the different, like, because she got me a McClellan's, I think it's a Speyside, but there's Speyside, and then there's the Highland malts, and then there's the Islay, and then you have something like Talisker that they make with seawater, and so it's a little salty, and so
I can't do salty.
I'm turning into a Scotch snob.
I do like Scotch though. I really do, but I'm not bougie enough to drink Scotch all the time.
Yeah,
right?
Scotch is definitely my favorite. I'm leaning significantly more that direction. But I still got that other stuff that I had you try last time you were here that had the, I can't remember if it was aged in the rum casks or if it was something else, but it was kind of like a little grape, like a kind of a.
Is that the one that I took the picture of?
Yes, that little short bottle that you tried that was just fantastic.
That shit is fire.
I think it was aged. So it was aged in Chardonnay barrels, is what the thing was,
and that makes sense. That does make sense.
It had that little winey kind of sweetness, but it was then that took the edge off of the.
I highly suggest trying that if you've never tried it.
But
here we are, a bowling show, and we're talking about alcohol. But you can tell we are a bowling show. We talk about alcohol.
Yeah. Forget bowling. So.
Forget bowling.
I use all SPI these days. I still watch your channel when you opted out. I enjoy watching your channel still with you and all the other testers. I enjoy the rambling too, and I appreciate that. But at the same time, I realize that because I do the same thing with the channels that I watch, and so I can't sit here and say, "Oh, people need to watch all my videos," and I'm worried about these numbers and this retention and whatever else. I do the same thing with the channels that I watch. If something, I watch the videos I'm interested in, and I don't watch the videos that I'm not. Like I watch a lot of. I don't have the time, or sometimes it's like, when when a show comes out, I'm interested in this TV show, but I either don't have Paramount Plus or Apple TV, and I don't want to sit down and watch this, or there's this like I really wanted to watch Oppenheimer, but I didn't have the 3.5 hours to sit down and watch it through. Or there's some shows like Game of Thrones that are just like soft core for half of it, and it's like I like Lord of the Rings and whatever else, but I don't need all the nonsense and stuff. I watch a lot of reaction channels because everything has to be safe for YouTube on the reaction channels. Plus, most of the time they just cut out all the nonsense, and so you get the straight to the point, like Reader's Digest version of these shows or these movies or whatever. And if I like it enough, then I'll just go watch the entire thing. But I watch a lot of reaction channels, and there's some shows, movies that I'm just not interested in, and so I watch the videos that I want to watch. I don't watch the videos I don't want to watch, and so I am not Mr. YouTube creator that doesn't understand or see things from the other side. And so I understand. It's like if you're not interested in watching a video for the Columbia Super CUDA, I'm not going to fault you for that. It's going to be a little annoying to spend all that time to have people not be interested in a video. But at the same time, I get it. I just don't understand going the opposite direction. It's like, well, you're focusing on Brunswick now, so I'm just not going to watch any of your videos. It's like, well, just like, I get it, but don't be an idiot the other direction.
Yeah, I mean, people are just there's just something.
I also want all the black balls.
I mean, black bowling balls are the best. I like black bowling balls and purple bowling balls.
Well, Brunswick makes a lot of those. Brunswick's favorite colors are black, orange, and purple. Like, it seems like every single month, there's like orange balls, black balls, orange and purple balls, purple and black balls, orange and black balls. Orange and purple are the new black.
Well, if excuse me, there's a reason why they do that, because those colors are the best. Just saying. Luis' comment sections had all kinds of comments when he switched to two-handed. I mean, it's because Luis has that. His game had that slow, kind of spinny game that people like to see, and that makes sense. You're gonna lose. You're gonna lose a lot of. You're gonna lose a lot of viewers on that.
If you develop a familiarity, and that's the thing with ball reviews, is you need to develop. That's basically because their conditions are going to be different. What a ball looks like, whatever else. But if you can develop a familiarity with, okay, the ball does this for this person, so I know it's going to do this for me. And you develop some kind of a familiarity or consistency there, and you want to keep that. Luis's two-handed game is very different. I think his two-handed game is significantly better than his one-handed game. So in the long run, I think it's
100%.
better for his channel. But if the people kind of look at that and say, oh, he has a high rev rate now, I don't know what he's doing. It's like, it doesn't really work that way, because again, I can watch a two-handed video, I can watch a one-handed video, I can watch a righty video, a lefty video, and still get a read on what the bowling ball in general does. And so I know that, okay, well, more surface is going to do, like I said earlier, more surface, different layout, whatever else. I understand what the bowling ball itself does and how all these other things affect it. So a few shots, no matter who they are, what their rev rate is, what side of the lane they're on, whatever else, I can get a good read on the bowling ball, and all the details I can kind of chase on later. But I think Luis throws it significant. I think for Luis, period, he's in a significantly better place throwing it two-handed versus one-handed.
Oh, and 100%. I think his scores will consistently go up too. It looks good. It doesn't look bad at all. Excuse me. Did we miss one? Tonight is a chicken parm with roasted potatoes. I'm on my way, Clifton. What time's dinner? Just let me know, and I'll be headed that way. Yeah. If it's a 2-hour drive, cool.
This joke is my absolute favorite.
Oh, you take a drink. I can read it.
Mixed. Yeah.
Luke and the damn ginger.
Let me see. Yeah, we're talking about steak. I'm a ribeye guy. She's into fillets. I like ribeyes.
I like sirloins and I like Casey strips.
Angel does like sirloins though. But what did you say, Jonathan?
I said I like sirloins and Casey strips.
She prefers fillets, but if she gets sirloins at a decent price, she'll do sirloins all day. And
I like fillets too.
Yeah.
The other way around. I want a fillet, but if I can't get a decent price, I get a sirloin.
Yeah, I know that's what I said.
No, you
don't. Yeah, she goes for fillets if she can get a decent price. But
otherwise.
Yeah, but she'll definitely go for sirloins too. I like ribeyes.
Honestly, I just like steak.
Yeah,
I just like steak.
I can go any direction on a bone in, bone out, whatever. Ribeyes is my cut.
I could literally eat steak 3 days a week. It's just so good, especially when it's cooked right. Like you can't beat it.
That's one of those things is just sitting around all the time. Like I'm either making videos or my office job is on the computer. So, and all the stuff that I like to do for fun, basically, because I don't really have the time to go out and do a whole lot of stuff. And so most of the time it's watching TV or playing a video game. And if I'm not doing that, I'm making a ball review or a ball video. And if I'm not doing that, I'm working on a computer. So I'm on a screen like 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, period. And so I just need to get my ass out from in front of that. And then you know, I don't necessarily eat a whole bunch of junk, but I don't really eat that great either. And so when you get up to go move around and finally do something, you get winded, or you go to the bowling alley and it just kind of have that weak, low energy feel where it's like, gosh, I just can't really, I just can't get anything on it. I'm like, man, I've got, and they're remodeling our floor, or they're remodeling the bathrooms on our floor right now, and they're changing the air handlers out. And so it's been 80 degrees on our office floor, which I've worked outside for most of the last like 20 years. 80 degrees outside and 80 degrees inside are completely ridiculously hilariously different things. Like if I'm outside and it's 80 degrees, I'm in heaven. That is the perfect temperature for working outside. You got the sun. It's a little warm, but it's not too bad. I'd rather be a little warm than a little cold.
That's because at least outside you get a little bit of a wind, a little breeze usually. But I'm sorry, but my office every day, I have to wear a damn beanie sitting at my desk all day, every day. And I get made fun of. I have a little air chute above my head. You know, when you have a hairline like this,
it's a little chilly. I was bald for a couple of years.
And I think we need to shave it off again. Angel's going to punch me. I better hide. Me too.
Like skinny Jeff Poston without the travel padding. Yeah.
No, he's not a ginger. But no, it's you're all right though, 100%. 80 degrees outside to inside is a huge difference. You'll be sweating your butt off, and 80 degrees inside. But I'm telling you, I would love if at work if it was even just 75. It's like 72 in my office, but it's sitting above my head. I swear to you, it shoots out cold air all the time, and I'm just sitting there like.
If it's 80 degrees outside and you go outside, you're going to be fine. If you turn your house up to 80 degrees right now, you will be dying inside of an hour. And my shifts are I work 4 9s and a 4, and so on the days that I'm in the office, Monday and Tuesday, are a couple of 9s, 80 degrees, miserable. Absolute awful. And so the Secretary of Transportation actually said, yeah, well, that's going on. You guys could just work from home because that's miserable. And so not only am I already working in office and working from home a couple days a week, now I'm just home for the next couple months until they get done with the air handlers in the bathroom and whatever else. So I'm just going to be working from home until like March or something. So, yeah.
Really? You're home for 2 months?
Okay.
Is it COVID?
Yeah, yeah.
You're home for 2 months?
Yeah. So I'm
so
and so we're just at home while it's 80 degrees in the office for absolutely no reason. But I mean, there is a reason, but
that's awful.
Anyway,
so unfortunate. I need to come over. I got an effect tour for Christmas as well. So
you're gonna like that quite a bit.
Yeah, I need to come drill that. I mean, I'm obviously, since I'm not blowing anytime soon, I can come over whenever.
I've got for my smoker, I've got a hardwood blend. It's like oak, hickory, and something else, or it's like a smokewood Texas blend or something. Oak, hickory, and mesquite, I think is the mix that I've got going on in the smoker right now.
I use Crown Royal chips.
She got me some Maker's Mark chips or something like, or maybe it was Crown Royal chips, but I think she got me some Mark chips.
Maker's Mark?
And those were fantastic. I think it was Maker's Mark, maybe not. But it was some whiskey chips that were not Crown Royal. So.
The Crown Royal ones are delicious. Anytime you go to Springfield, go to Bass Pro. They have them. They got the big bag for $20.
But yeah,
grab it.
I did a couple briskets over the last couple months. Briskets are wretched. I hate them. I don't really want to do them again. I did a pork.
I'm a pork.
I made pork and beans or ham and beans with a pork butt that I smoked, and pork butts are amazingly easy to smoke, and they come out great. So,
God, pork butts are so easy. I mean, ribs are fun to do too. Though. I've got a mean oven ribs recipe I can teach you sometime, and it's so good. Go ahead.
Currently getting back into bowling. I used to watch all your reviews, but quit bowling 2 years ago. Any advice on new balls to try to build an arsenal? As I sold all my stuff like an idiot.
Fortunate.
I think if you go with like hammer stuff is the cheapest on the market the cheapest, biggest bang. Like if you get an Ocean Vibe, a Scorpion Strike, some variation, or like a Hazmat Solid, some variation of a Black Widow, and like an Envy. Like Hammer, just top to bottom, has banger stuff, but they're also like ridiculously cheap. So,
which is crazy because it's like one of the best brands
it's the
on
best
the
brands
damn
out there.
market.
But an Ocean Vibe or a Hustle, they're basically the same price. I think you get a little bit more with the Ocean Vibe, but you definitely won't miss on a Hustle. Scorpion Strike is the best ball for the price on the market, period, like ever. Hazmat Solid is a cheaper Phase 2, basically. And then Black Widow, it's $160 for anything that competes with like $200 balls from other companies. So you could get it.
The Scorpions.
You could get an Ocean Vibe, a Scorpion Strike, a Hazmat Solid, and a Black Widow, a 2.0 hybrid or 3.0 whatever else at the top of the bag, and be significant, have great stuff, and be significantly cheaper than anything else out there.
The Scorpion Strike was one of those that's the purple and black one, right? Yeah. That's one of the most underrated balls of the year. And I actually picked that during our Doggo stream here not long ago. That ball is just absolutely fantastic. I watched Crouch throw it on Tuesdays. And it looks good. He's like, oh, should I get out of it? I'm like, bro, you throw that damn thing as long as you can. Because, moral of the story, don't skip leg day, especially at 50. Well, I'm not at 50 yet, so I'm going to skip leg day until I get to 50 because I got little chicken legs.
Yeah, we've got a recumbent bike here, and it's actually sitting in the living room now, and so I could get on there. I could do again, I am working from home for like the next 2 months or something. I could get up and be doing all kinds of things. And even just, I tell you what, the best like weightlifting stuff is bowling balls. Like I can grab a couple of triple rollers and do like lunges and stuff like that. I could do a bunch of leg work, just put a couple 2-ball bags on my shoulders and go like up and down stairs. Like there's all kinds of stuff you can do with bowling balls. You could lift like 2-ball bags, do some push-ups, whatever else.
That's great.
I just sit there like a dumbass.
Do you know how many people were doing that during COVID? Like lifting the triple? Like AJ Johnson was even posting videos. He's literally lifting, sitting there squatting triple.
I'm telling you what, I could get some prison muscle going on because it's the same.
He's gonna have a beach bod.
Yeah, I can get the prison muscle bod going on pretty easy just without the prison. So
keep answering questions. I'm gonna run and go to the potty real quick. I've got nothing to do, so I'm good to sit here.
I used to think you guys were old, and then I realized how old I am. Yeah, it's one of those things you don't think about it until you actually think. Like you have to stop and think about it. And Yuri's like, yeah, you're all children. I'll be super senior in 2 years. But yeah, that's the thing is that I understand that Yuri's older than I am, but it just doesn't really seem like it's that until you think about it. Like somebody, like we got another buddy that just turned 60, and he just doesn't seem like a 60-year-old, even though he's an older guy. He's gray, he's whatever else, but it's like 60, really? And we're like I said, Angel and I are going to be 44 this year. Our 25-year high school reunion was actually in 2024, which is hilarious. But you just don't really think about it. So, yeah, super senior. I thought those were the 20-year-olds in high school. This is the funny thing. So, like, as of 1/1/2025, if you were born on January 1st, 2004, you can drink now. When I was growing up, it was 18. You could drink at 18, but now that you have to be 21 to drink in the U.S., if you were born on January 1st, 2004, you can drink now. That's what's crazy.
That is pretty crazy. Sorry. Coming. I have a point on that real quick. If you can still hear me. Yeah, the fact that 21 is still the drinking limit here. Yes, and I was saying that because I could hear everything you were saying. Wireless ear monitors are amazing. The fact that 21 is the drinking age, and you can go to military and shoot a gun. You can't drink at 18. Kind of blows my mind, but
yeah,
hey, We're not talking politics.
Yeah, but it doesn't make
Not
any
a breath.
sense.
No, it doesn't make sense. You can go put your life down for your country, but you can't have a
Yeah.
damn beer at 18.
Yeah, all the things that you can actually do
Whatever.
at a younger age now, but you can't drink.
Let's be honest, we all did it.
It doesn't make sense. But
actually, I'm lying. I never had a drink.
I didn't.
before
My
I was
first
21.
drink, I was like 23 or 24. Like I did not.
I'm lying.
Yeah,
I'm lying.
I didn't. I was 23 or 24, and even then it was like Bacardi 03s or something. So
Oh yeah, I think when I was 16 years old, I got, or it might even been 15. I got plastered one time. Oh God, puking. Didn't want my parents to know. I'm sitting there puking. Yeah, I'll never do that again.
yeah, I had a really rough night one time. It was Greg Atwater shot his first 800. And so they set the bowling alley because Greg worked at the bowling alley. He's like, oh, okay, you guys can hang out for a little bit. Just close up when you leave. We accidentally broke in a liquor cabinet. And I literally mean accidentally. If somebody was, we were getting some beers out of the tap, and then somebody started pulling on the handles of the liquor cabinet, and they just broke, the lock broke. Like nobody was trying to get into the liquor cabinet, but it's kind of like, well, it's open now. So I had almost 20 shots that night. And I had, up to that point, like I was drinking Bacardi 03s and like the really light pop stuff. I didn't, beer tasted awful. I hadn't gotten into liquor, but we had some college students there, and it's kind of like, oh, well, this is good. Try this and whatever else. I mean, we paid for all the liquor, but yeah, it just kind of one of those things. I hadn't had liquor before. I hadn't had beer before, so I had like a 6-pack of Bacardi 03s and then like almost 20 shots.
Hammered.
And I had an interview for a job the next morning.
Did you get the job?
But I mean, I got home and I was hugging a trash can, and I could not move my head an inch one way or the other, or I was done. And I didn't get to sleep until like 5 or 6 in the morning, and then my interview was at 9. And so I got there, and I was just, I mean, I looked awful, and I just, oh yeah, I'm sorry, I'm just kind of under the weather this morning. And the store manager is kind of like, oh yeah, we've had because it was in the winter, and so it's like, oh yeah, there's been some flu stuff going around, and I'm like, yep, it's that.
But you know what? I'm here. I'm dedicated.
Yeah.
I want this damn job. Are you old enough to remember? I mean, obviously you're not from that area. So Kansas and Missouri, the borderline. So Kansas used to have a drinking age at 18, and Missouri was 21. So the people would cross. This is before my time, but I knew about it. It might have been when I was a baby. I don't remember shit. But if you cross the border to Kansas, you can go drink at 18. But if you come back to Missouri, it was 21.
Well, and it's kind of like that now to some certain degree, because like in Missouri, they can have weed, but they can't.
Yeah, they can smoke
sports gamble. They can't do sports book or whatever else. They can't gamble on sports. In Kansas, we can gamble on sports, but weed is not legal. So it's one of those.
Yeah, no,
it's one of those things. Like
not even like.
Yeah,
not even medicinal.
Everybody in Missouri,
you can't. You smoke it here. You're going to
here to bet on sports, and everybody in Kansas goes to Missouri for their weed. So
it's okay. I can go put $1,000 on Ohio State tonight, but I can't go smoke a joint.
But no, that's one of those. What was I gonna? Kind of lost what I was. No,
sorry,
I can't remember what I was gonna say, but yeah, maybe that was what I was gonna say.
Well,
no.
Sorry.
There's a quick trip on State Line Road right off I-70 or 470 or whatever.
Yeah, I used to live right. I used to live over there.
Closed it down because it was on the line, on the state line, and so they actually tore it down and rebuilt it, I think, in Missouri, because the liquor laws or whatever, the liquor licenses, something was different. And so the building was on, and they literally tore the building down and moved it like 100 feet one direction. So it was all in one
100% they did. It's actually over there right by the Gates Barbecue.
It was in Missouri because Kansas for a while couldn't sell in gas stations or supermarkets or whatever else.
They were selling 3-2 beer, so they weren't selling full strength beer. And if you go to the Missouri side, you can sell whiskey. Yeah. You can go walk up to the counter like, can I get a fifth of Southern Comfort?
Yeah.
You can get it. Yeah.
Yeah. So they tore the entire store down and spent $1 million or whatever rebuilding it 100 feet further one direction so they could sell alcohol in there.
Let's be honest, that's great business. I mean, it's great business. I'm so mad that Gates burned down because we drove by it the other day after Bowling and Summit, and I was like, man, I could kill for some Gates.
Man, we used to hit all kinds of stuff up there. I mean, we do Jack Stack's a default, but Arthur Bryant's, Gates, Rosedale. I've actually finally developed a taste for Wyandotte barbecue, and the original Wyandotte, not Wyandotte 2 or whatever.
Are you talking about the little hole in the wall by Casey Bowl? Looks like if you go there, you're going to get hurt.
You walk in and you still feel the same. It's like, this is really sketchy and I'm scared. But my God.
You're not the only person that says that. Paul Burnett says that to me all the time. Excuse me, all the time. He's like, we've got to go.
Half chicken.
I've never had it.
The best fry, literally the best crinkle cut fries you'll ever have. And it's unexplainable until you get there. And then their barbecue sauce has cinnamon in it. And it is the dumbest thing. But if you get a half chicken with cinnamon barbecue, now they have chopped brisket and sliced pork, which pissed me off the first. I'm like, I want sliced brisket and pulled pork. I don't want whatever the crap this is. But a half chicken with cinnamon barbecue sauce and a bag of smoking hot crinkle cut fries. I finally developed a taste for it, and I kind of miss it.
So I've always grown up a Gates guy. I know we're talking to a bunch of people here on a bowling show that don't know. I'm sorry, you can fight me for this, but Kansas City is the barbecue capital of the world. You can fight me for it. There's a reason why the world's the competition barbecue is at Kansas City for a reason. But I grew up on Gates. So when I was living with my mom and stepdad Woody for a long time, we actually lived in Independence. And there's a Gates in Independence on 40 Highway. And the Gates is like right here. We lived like catty corner, like over here. And when I'm saying I smelt barbecue every day, I smell barbecue.
It's a little different than smelling
a combo.
Smelling Frito-Lay every day.
Walk out the back door to let the dogs out. Oh, yeah. Combo and a half, please. How may I help you? Love it. Love it. Man, now I'm hungry.
Yeah. Angel, we're putting Angel's getting a little hungry here too. We haven't eaten yet today, so we might have to kind of get through the comments and wrap things up here. We've actually been going 2.5 hours, and it doesn't feel like it's been anywhere close to that. This has just been fun. So we'll catch up on some comments, and then I need to go eat something, especially after having some of the good stuff here. How do you decide which tester to use for which ball demo? I appreciate you still loving the channel, no matter what we do. Basically,
thanks, Doug.
We have to throw this stuff after the fact. So it's not like we drill a ball for a video and then drill other stuff to use. It's like, well, I use this ball after the fact. And so we generally go with whatever ball is going to fit for that person. Or if I see something that I want, it's like, well, I'm taking this ball because I'm going to want to throw it. Or if it's a urethane ball or something like a Hammer Effect Tour, I'm just absolutely drilling that ball. If it's something that's going to fit for Angel, we go that direction. If it's something like like I think BB-8's Heckler that we gave to Jesse, it's a two-handed asymmetric core, so we're going to go that direction. So that's basically how I divvy up the Brunswick stuff, is like what we want. Angel hates the color purple, and so if it's purple, we're not drilling that for Angel. I don't throw a whole lot of big asymmetric stuff. So if it's like a Mesmerize or a one reverb, Angel's going to get that because Jesse definitely doesn't need the help getting the ball to hook. And I normally throw kind of tamer, like Theorem, Hammer Effect Tour, whatever else. Angel also likes the big symmetric stuff. So Ricochet, that new Ricochet Pearl, she's liked quite a bit. Or if it's lower end, like the Tundra or something like that, we give to Jesse because he needs stuff on the lower end too. So it's basically what we want, or what we think we're going to use after the fact is how we decide that.
Right. Another one that Jesse did really good too. You said the Heckler, that real time.
Oh,
that real time is legit. That ball is legit. That might be a sleeper ball that people sleep on. Like it's sleeper ball.
That real time,
you know what I mean? But
legit.
Yeah, that real time is good. I mean, isn't it a Pearl version
It's
the
a
big
solid
time?
version of the real time, or the big
Sorry, not
time.
pearl.
But the big time was a sanded
yeah.
pearl. The real time is a polished solid. So I think that's
Yeah.
the
God,
trip
that
up
bowl
there.
was
But the
so
real
good.
time is the real deal. Bill O'Neill.
I see what you did there. I see
Mhm.
what you did there. From someone who switched to two-handed, the hate is infinite. You get it when you do well, and you get it when you don't. Got to do what you need to do to knock the pins down. I agree with you 100%.
It's the same thing being left-handed, because it just, there's no respect no matter what happens, because if you do bad, then it's kind of like, oh yeah, you don't have the lefty wall today, and if you do well, it's kind of like, well, the left is walled. So Aspen, what are you doing? Why do you
I really
food that's
wish
on the
that
floor? There's nothing on the floor that's food, sweetie.
I really wish I could throw it two-handed. I really do. I just don't have enough ball speed for it. I would have to drop down to at least 14. I mean, there's no way. I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to stay.
Yeah, I'm so bad with it that I would rather be right-handed than left-handed, but left-handed is better than right-handed for me, consistency-wise, form-wise, whatever else. And I just kind of deal with, because I can't go two-handed right-handed, because it's just bad. I'm never going to get better two-handed righty than I am left-handed one-handed, so I'm just kind of stuck. But I really don't like it.
By the way, on that talk, I think you're going to have at least 2 honor scores in 25.
I would hope so.
I don't know what they're going to be, but I think at least 2.
I think I skipped 20. I don't think I had anything in 2024, because I had my first year as a lefty. I shot
99.
Yeah, I did shoot 90. I had a couple front tens. I had some shots, I think, this year, but I wasn't like.
Yeah. I shot 824. I'd like to shoot another one of those. I'd rather shoot 800 than I would.
I'm still stuck on 790s. I have like 3 or 4. I think I have 4 790s. I've got a 791, 92, and like 293s or something like that.
Left-handed. Let's clarify, left-handed. Yeah,
but yeah, I shot.
But yeah, I'd like to shoot 800 at least twice. I'll just settle for once in 24 or 25.
Yeah, I had my first year lefty, or first year back to lefty, really. I had a 300 in 2021. I had one in 2022. I had one in 2023. And then I've had several chances. I just haven't had one since that. But yeah, it'd be nice.
Hey, we were teammates when you shot your first lefty 300.
Yeah, we were balling on Friday night.
That was with the IQ 2 Pearl. Friday night on the low end.
Yeah, the IQ Nano Pearl.
It was like 5 and 6.
Yeah,
5 and 6.
And then my next one was with the Hustle Camo the next year in Lawrence. And then so yeah.
That was on a Friday night too. I was there
Friday
for the first
nights,
2.
because my one with the Summit in September 23 was also on Friday nights in Lawrence. So
yeah, I was there for your first 2 because we were teammates on your first one and your second one. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Love it. There's a lot of comments in here.
That's coming.
Thanks for all the steak talk.
We actually drove by Omaha Steak when we went to the Tom Sue a couple months ago.
Place is so good.
We've got Farview Farms that's just right around the corner from us. They're just a little north of 62nd Topeka. And I got like $60-70 worth of gift cards burning a hole in my wallet, so I need to go get some good stuff.
Do it.
Oh.
That's another one we need to bowl. We need to fully bowl the Tom Sue.
Yeah, because I kind of held the team down. Well, I didn't really hold the team down this year. We all had a bad game at the wrong time, but all the other guys shot 880. I shot 840 for the 4 games, and we missed the cut by 40. So, kind of feeling like that was my fault. But no, it was tough. I didn't realize we were that close to the number. But yeah, we all on that Marvel Rivals crack. Yes, I finally got God of War Ragnarok came out on PC, and so I've been switching more to PC because I've got a PS4 Pro. But a lot of the newer games like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is out on PS5. There's a lot of stuff that's coming out on PS5, but then you have to wait for it on PC. But I'm always in the office doing something, so I don't have that dedicated time to like go play PlayStation. So I just haven't gotten a PS5. And
do you have PlayStation Plus?
Yes, pretty sure. But yeah, I can download the stuff, but I just have a PS4 Pro. So there's a lot of stuff that's coming out just on PS5 now. And I've got such an Uber computer. Plus, my wife got me a really nice monitor. It's it's not quite 4K, but it's a 240 hertz monitor. So the refresh rate is insane. So everything just looks like you're there. It's super crispy and clear and clean, and there's no blur and whatever else. I also got a 4K OLED TV for Christmas too. So you're talking about watching football games in HDR is on some other shit.
I love it. Do you still play Overwatch?
I don't play Overwatch anymore because I'm playing Marvel Rivals, which is better than Overwatch.
Okay, so I need to get on Marvel Rivals
because it's all the Marvel heroes.
So then
it's basically Overwatch, but with Marvel heroes, but with Iron Man and.
So I need to get it. So what you're telling me is I need to get a headset for my PlayStation.
And Rivals is free. So yeah, it's just free to download and you play, and you can play as Iron Man, you can play as Jeff the Shark, which is freaking hilarious. Any of the Marvel heroes, really. So Thor, Scarlet Witch.
You got Raylan now. She's just addicted to Fortnite. Like I can't get the kid off of it. She'll play it every. If you give her 20 minutes, I'm getting on Fortnite. Okay, all right, have fun. Enjoy.
Tomahawks. Yeah, ribeye tomahawks. Bald Luke is terrifying. Yeah, but I'm one of those where I just look like I have leukemia or something. When I'm bald, I look like I'm sick. Like if I shaved my head, everybody would just assume that I had cancer. And that's not.
I think it's because
you're not making fun of anybody that has cancer. I'm just saying that if I would shave my head, everybody would think it was because I was sick.
It's because you're a ginger. I'm telling you. I mean, do I look sick, or is this just natural?
You just look normal. Like that. That just looks like a look for you. Like you actually looking at you and Amanda's wedding pictures, like you guys look better now than you did when you got married. So yeah, you guys are aging like fine wine.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
It must be a short thing. When stuff like that comes across Facebook, or when people have their anniversary stuff that they put out, like they'll put the wedding photo and then they'll put their photo now. Yeah. Bald is beautiful.
I appreciate that. Since my contract was not renewed, do not get a phase out.
I wasn't planning on it because that bald looks like dog shit anyway. So
if it looks like dog shit, then that probably would look good for me.
I think this is a Storm thing in general because I think the Crux Primes, there was something with white. Or
normal.
Or like Brunswick's Violent Collision or something. Like if there's too much pink in it or something, like there's some kind of Storm has issues beyond. Like I didn't quit for reaction, like ball reaction stuff, but it definitely didn't help. So
I quit motive for ball reaction.
Everything did the same thing.
I'll be honest.
It's all early and smooth. There were a few variations here and there, but it was all early and smooth.
I'll never forget that. You look at me, you're laughing, and I'm like ready to fry, and you're like, dude, the ball literally does the same thing, everything you do. It doesn't matter. Brisket is definitely an art form. It has to be mastered through trial and error, but it's so worth it when you
brisket is very labor intensive. I talked to my cousin. One of my cousins married a guy that did competition barbecue. He had his own barbecue restaurant for a while. And I was talking to him on over Christmas, and he's like, yeah, man, you can buy a 15-pound, like the whole brisket where you get the point and the flat, whatever else. Once you trim it up, you lose like half the weight. And then, so you start with a 15-pound brisket, and you end up with a couple pounds of burnt ends and like a 5-pound brisket or something once you get it all trimmed up. And then it takes forever to cook. And it's like, it's one of those things that it's like good brisket is great, but I'm not sure that I want to spend the entire day cutting it up and smoking it and whatever else. I can put a pork butt in there for 3 or 4 hours and have heaven without even having to look at it or think about it.
I love me a good pork butt. A bunch more in here. We've had a lot of comments in here. This has been a great show for a little surprise 2025 early stream. I grew up with my dad's liquor cabinet next to our television in the entertainment center. Chivas, Doers, Johnny Black, Glenn Levet. Growing up, my brothers and I never touched it. What? Oh,
Yeah.
come on. You know you
Good
touched it.
Scotch
No,
stuff.
you don't have to lie to Kate.
Yeah,
You know you got in
this
there.
dog whiskey is pretty good. It was a little expensive, and so I'm like, I'm not really much into bourbon anymore, so I hope this is good. It is good.
We needed that for the doggo stream then.
Yep.
You had the doggo beer.
Yeah, I had the doggo
Didn't you have
beer.
dog beer.
So yeah, we might have to get, because they've got this on the website, and they actually have some other flavors of it too. Angel just saw it and Instabought it, and so I'm like, oh no, because she could have gotten another bottle. They got some different stuff, and there's free shipping if you order 2 bottles and whatever else. But
joining the chat late. Sorry if it was mentioned, but I noticed talk about the level hardness supposed to be 73, 75, and the website list 76, 77. Apologize real quick. It's really small when I
they said that, but on the level promo page and on the ball page, this is nothing new. This was one of the issues that they can't ever get on the same page, and they blamed it on web host updates or some kind of thing, but they just can't put information on the website correctly. It's like if it's something to do, sure, computer stuff. I work with softwares now, and I have coders that work next to me, and so I know a whole lot more about computers and programming and hardware, software, whatever else than I knew a couple of years ago. But if some stuff is wrong in the hard code on the web page, that's not a web host update issue. I'm sorry. If you put it in wrong, if you build it in wrong and it's wrong, you can't blame that on some web host stuff. And they just do it all the time. They copy paste. It's inconsistent. Sometimes stuff isn't there. Sometimes too much stuff is there. It just, they don't pay enough attention when they're putting stuff on the website, is basically what the deal is, because no other company has this problem. They put it on the website, like Brunswick has been like clockwork. They're super organized. As far as I'm concerned anyway, they're very organized. They're on top of stuff. Everything is fine. The information's always there. Storm was always a complete crapshoot. Inconsistent communication, timing, whatever else. And so, yeah, this doesn't surprise me that they would have one thing on one part of the website and a completely different thing on the other side. And it doesn't have anything to do with website host issues.
Yeah. I'm looking at the clock here. I know you're ready to go, but it's 2:43. Should we just make a hard stop at 3 and call it?
Yeah, we should probably. I'm just going to try to catch up with the comments and then get out of here, because she's kind of chomping at the bit.
I'm
kind of hungry too, because I haven't eaten anything yet today. I had some coffee and I did some ball video stuff, and
I ate a little bit just to make sure I was good. So Taylor Devin, we'll be starting to take bowling notes this year to improve. What book did you advertise, and what advice would you?
There's a lot of.
I'm assuming.
There's a lot of bowling help books out there. I don't really have anything specific that as far as.
So I'm not a big reader. From what I understand, though, it's not a bowling book, but it helps your mental game. I've heard Mind Gym is really good, and I actually have the book. It was gifted to me by my aunt a long time ago, and I've never read it. But Mind Gym, I've heard, is really, really good.
Well, there's something about there's some book called something to do with tennis.
Oh, yes. I have heard about that one. I think we've actually talked about it on the program here before, but sorry, I said program.
Yeah, Mastering the Mental Game of Tennis or something like that. I've got the book upstairs. The inner game of tennis. That's what it is. The inner game of tennis. Everybody, and that's because it translates extremely well, I guess. And so, yeah, the inner game of tennis is something that everybody suggests as far as a bowling book. And actually, Storm several years ago started a program for the staffers to try to teach them more. And they had like an SPI university. It was like staffer training or something. And that was Matt McNeil ran it. And that was the first lesson, was read the inner game of tennis and then do like a summary on it, or kind of like a book report on it. And staffers are stupid, and they didn't really enforce it. It was just a bunch of extra work for no reason. The staffers didn't do it, or they sucked at it, and they just kind of forgot all about that, like they typically do with things. So anyhow,
What else we got?
Winter Soldier. I'm 58 and there's nothing normal. Black Velvet was my first liquor.
Richard?
Some Black Velvet.
Richard's my guy, man.
Did they have issues? Yeah, the gold label and the Tour Dynamics, because basically they just copy pasted all of the stuff from the original Zen for the Zen gold label.
Yeah.
And then the Tour Dynamics has the Rubicon core shape, but they lowered the density so it had different numbers. All they did was copy paste the Zen information for the Zen gold label and then the Rubicon information for the Tour Dynamics. And it was all wrong, and they blamed it on some kind of, it's just a web host. It's a random web host update that changes the information. It's like, well, the information was put in there on the hard code on the website, on the web page, that an update is not going to change specific information in odd ways on the hard code on a web page. That's not how it works. So it's just people copying and pasting and not paying attention to the information that they're putting on there. So. Oh, yeah, he might be talking about the Nexus Journal. Yeah, the Nexus Journal is and I still haven't gotten the video up for that, but the Nexus Journal is kind of like Pen Pal, but in a book that you can actually write down specific notes and other things that you can't do on Pen Pal. So that book in combination with Pen Pal would be fantastic, or whatever other app that you use for your bowling tracking or whatever. But yeah, note taking with the Nexus Journal is awesome. I've got the book down here somewhere, but yeah, let me right before we get out of here.
I think you had talked about that book with the backpack. Oh yeah, I think.
Yeah, I've talked about it several
Taylor,
times. I've been meaning to do an actual video. It's been sitting down here for months. I've been meaning to do an actual video talking about it. But here on the first page, you've got your arsenal list, so you can put down, and he recommends doing it in pencil so that you can erase and redo all that. But it's basically what you do here is you can keep track of it like Pen Pal, but you've got the targets on there where you can say, okay, I slid here, and here's my target at the arrows. Here's my target at the break point. Did I hit it? Yes or no? With some notes sections and stuff to write little notes down and stuff like that. So this in combination with Pen Pal would be fantastic. But yes, this is so if you, I think I have the link in the description to the nexusbag.com or whatever, but you follow that link and it gives you 10% off anything you buy on the Nexus website. So yeah, this is it.
We actually showed that off when you on the breakdown pair when you actually first got that backpack.
I showed it off several times. I was going to do a specific dedicated video to talk about it and show it off, but I just haven't ever. It's on the back burner, and I just have not gotten to the back burner yet. So,
Dave, bowling is very mental. Some nights during practice, it's strike, 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 and then when league starts, open, open. What the hell happened? That's just normal. That's normal.
Yeah.
But we've all been there, done that. If we're
I think we're caught up, and it's time. We've been going for almost 3 hours, so it's probably time to hop off and do something. I got some food to eat, and I got some videos to work on and stuff like that. So no rest for the dumbasses.
Absolutely. Once again, guys, thank you for all hopping in here for especially a little surprise show. Happy New Year to everybody. Hope you guys all have goals and for 2025, and hope you all set them. We appreciate you guys. We're back on Monday night,
6 o'clock for the 100th episode.
100. We've got Anthony Lockwood coming on. It's going to be a nice little guest. The old school fans will know. I know him personally as well. He's a good guy. Looking forward to having him on with us. Zach Wilkins will be joining us unless something changes, but he's planning on joining us. We'll have a good time. We'll bullshit, and we'll talk bowling, whatever you want. So plan on those questions, especially for Zach and Anthony. Or you can ask Luke and I questions too. But we're gonna have a good time. I'm looking forward to it. Wasn't the big show that we were wanting to do. A lot of scheduling stuff around the holidays, but it's gonna be good. We're gonna have a good time.
So,
and I will be live in the flesh, sitting in my spot behind Chris Barnes there. Yeah. By the way, it's so fitting that you have Chris Barnes there because that was my idol growing up. So him being over my shoulder when I'm live is so perfect. Like I was obsessed with that guy. Still do. He's a great guy. And I'm not a Topeka originally. And so he's a Topeka. So yeah.
So
It's fitting. We made it though. We did make it to 2025.
yep. Happy New Year, everybody. Merry Christmas, whatever else, and we will see you on Monday.
See you on Monday night.